This is Jonah Hill, and you're listening to the only podcast that matters.
Throw gang, nobody asked, but here's my intro to the Kiwi who makes your PP go tee-hee, the TikTok Titan, the unboxing Baron, the Lord of Liking You, the under-eye mask maestro, Sultan of SpawnCon, His Highness of the Hall, the Raja of the DJ Request, Melige of the Surf Lodge, His Honor of the Haka, King of the Club, Don Dada of the Dance Floor, the One Oak Bloke, the Butter on Your Toast, the Thing-a-ling at Ding-a-ling, the Champagne of DJs, Isaac Hindin-Miller.
Damn.
What's up, buddy?
Wow, this is like my Make-A-Wish moment.
As a fan,
That's my joke. I use that.
as a fan, I hope that didn't disappoint.
I am a huge fan. Yeah, I've listened to you guys all the time. I have a question for you, okay?
Yes.
Wow, right out the
Oh,
gate.
it's your
So
podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
So, yeah, okay, totally. We'll go fuck ourselves,
Yeah.
dude. Great. Awesome. Thank you.
How many people live text you while they're listening to the episodes like I do? Because I can't not text you while I'm listening to the episode.
A lot of DMs, and then also the Discord is where it's at, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're a patron. Like, get on the Discord.
That's
I'm sure that
in real
after
time
this,
kind of.
I haven't done that yet.
But
and
I will-
after this, people are going to be like, "Yo, where the fuck is Isaac? Come on the Discord."
Oh, I didn't even know about that. But
Yeah.
I used to text you, but I
Yeah.
get more of a like, oh yeah, haha, thanks. But you'll be
Wow,
like,
dude.
you'll be like, yeah, imposter syndrome is something that we all deal with.
So he gives you a canned ass response, and you think that's like the way to go about it? All right, well, awesome. We're off to a fucking roaring start.
Yeah.
And to be clear, while a fan, we're also friends.
We are friends.
I feel like you
and also
buried the
fans,
lead there.
and also fans of yourself.
And
Yes.
we go back. And
It's
I
a
was
long
actually
fucking
a
history.
fan of Lawrence way before.
I was
I ever
telling
moved to
James, I had
America.
forgotten about this till we were kind of like doing our extremely intense research and pre-pro like we do for all guests. I forgot that I like sponsored your citizenship.
You wrote one of my 01 visa letters.
Or I think I was like, you write the letter, I'll sign it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I'm not
right,
going
all
to
right.
write it. I don't want you to stay in America
That's how
that
much
bad.
of a celebrity superstar this guy is.
To any immigrant homies out there, if you're trying to get a visa sponsored,
No.
DM sartorially
For
inclined.
$5,000.
Yeah.
No, please do not.
And I'll just say, just to gas you up a little
Sure,
bit,
go off,
the
please.
only people that you can get to write those letters are people who have risen to the absolute top of your industry.
Wow.
So you're like, hey, this guy's a blogger.
Because we were like working at Guilt together.
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
of us were like full-time
But a long
freelancers.
time before that, I
Yeah.
used to write questions to you on the Tumblr.
Right, exactly. Tumblr fucking bros from day one. Isaac, you already know the fucking drill.
We're done with the dick sucking.
Let's know. Well, hopefully we get a lot more dick sucking as
Sure.
we go through this run of show. But
Please.
why don't you do the fit check? You know the fucking vibes. I'll just toss it to you.
Okay, first of all, I've never understood this thing about top down being cop.
I
like
don't-
narc- it's
it
just narc
is.
vibes because-
it's just that's our truth, baby.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you get dressed, do you not start foundationally at the bottom with the footwear?
No.
Oh, okay. So then, okay, again, we'll go fuck
Yeah.
ourselves.
I start with the pants.
Okay.
Really?
Pants or the shirt.
Middle out.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
interesting.
anyway, I'll start bottom up. So I've got the Al Legace, which I
Correct
also had to
pronunciation.
Google. I Googled so many times
You're
what
like, is
Al
this-
Legace was.
Damn, you're fucking poisoning the youth of America,
Anyway, so
dude.
Should I squat on
Legacy.
ourlegace.com?
Yeah, you should.
Are they Camion?
Camion boots, yeah.
Camion boots. I got them in the
Beautiful
brown suede. I got them
brown
from Matches
suede.
Fashion this week on sale. Boom.
Gas.
I'm wearing the I Like You socks.
Nice little, but you're going to be plugging your own shit a lot, I
Yeah.
feel like,
Oh,
throughout
for
this.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm a plug.
That's why
master.
you're here.
Okay, I'm wearing the very dirty white Wrangler cowboy cut original fit jeans.
Nice.
Which to my they're the best jeans you can buy for like under $40.
Where do you get them? Just Wrangler.com?
Wrangler.com. But you got to get the original cut. Don't get the slim fit because they
Okay.
are extremely hugging in the groin area.
Gotcha. And if they're dirty, that's the only way to know
Yeah.
that the white jeans are getting worn.
Yeah.
They're
But
fucking in the
photograph,
shit.
They always look clean. So
Yeah.
That you're out there on the ranch.
And they're 100% cotton because I do not fuck with men who wear stretch denim.
No, we don't support.
Why are you looking at
stretch
me?
denim.
I'm just saying.
I'm wearing mesh shorts.
No, I think that's a fair take. I feel like
Yeah.
you and I would never. I mean, I guess sometimes a teensy.
No.
No, okay, never
Absolutely
mind.
not.
Okay,
Okay, I'm wearing my favorite cowboy belt from Texas. It's from that store Cavender's.
okay.
$38.
Nice.
Big old buckle.
Yep. I am wearing
Here we go.
the Tombolo I Like You collaboration
Wow,
shirt that's
all right.
dropping next week.
And am I seeing some titties? What is
Yeah,
or
there's
some
titties.
sex?
There's a couple making out. There's
Yeah.
a little.
What is-
There's
I'm
a
getting-
sun behind the palm tree with the I Like You in it.
Nice.
I'm getting a little like Matisse vibes on
Yeah.
the figures. I mean, we have the beautiful framed art behind us.
For sure.
And thank you for hosting us in lovely Alphabet City.
I've seen this place on
What's
TikTok.
your address?
Yeah. I've been on Avenue D for 9 years. So that's where we are. We're on
Your
Avenue.
apartment number is very confusing,
Wink,
by the
wink.
way. I was like, oh, he's on the first floor, but it gets so much light for being on the first
Yeah,
floor.
right.
E is the floor. So E
But why
is
is
the
E-
fifth
That is
floor.
very
I know, that's
confusing.
That is-
confusing. I don't know.
Kill all landlords.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm wearing some jewelry. I have rings by Aris Schwab, who is an East Village local dude. My mood ring is by a New Zealander who lives in the city called Olivia Kane. Olivia Kane jewelry.
Shout out Olivia.
And then necklaces, Jane the jeweler.
Mhm.
And then I have this fly necklace, which I got from, what's that? Not Matches, but one of those big, like,
Essence?
List.
Oh, L-Y-S-T.
Yeah. I got
Right.
from that.
Where when you look for something that's sold out, the first thing that always pops up is the listing,
Exactly.
and you're like, oh, sick. Oh,
I feel
no,
like
never
it's like an
mind.
aggregate.
Definitely an aggregator.
Ecom. So anyway, so that's the jewelry. I'm wearing my Shang Pri under eye mask.
We all
which I
are.
always wear. Buy them from Peach and Lily and use the code Isaac and the discount code for your
That
discount.
is the first ever discount code plug in the Fit Check we've ever had.
This is full shill mode. I love it, dude. You're a man after my own heart, bro.
And then I was so fucking annoyed when I listened to the episode yesterday because she was the first person to talk about the hair, and I was going to talk about the hair, and I wanted to be the first person to talk about
Damn,
the hair.
Annie got
But
you.
anyway, so I use Fat Boy, which is also made by a New Zealander, and it, to my money, is the best product that you can buy for
Fat
men.
Boy, that's pomade.
Yeah, it's like a dry clay.
Your hair
pomade.
does always look fantastic.
Thank you.
Has it gone
And-
more gray in recent years?
Yeah.
I was going to say,
All
it's like an
stress.
exponential.
All stress.
Yeah.
Lest we forget, Isaac, the panties.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
if,
yeah.
if any.
So I only wear one brand.
One
and
pair of
only
underwear.
style. It's bread and boxes, which I started buying when I worked at Gilt.
Okay.
Because they would sell them for like $9. They're Scandinavian, no logo, white, what we would call
Are they
bundies
as
in New
dirty?
Zealand.
Are they as dirty as your pants?
I buy new ones like
Every week.
every like Memorial Day and Labor Day and
Oh,
stuff.
really?
They do like a
That's how you salute the troops.
yeah. They do a sale, and
Yeah.
so I only buy them discounted because they're like $18 a pair, but you
Yeah.
get them for like
What is
3 pairs.
what was
for
the
20 or
style
something
called in
like
New
that.
Zealand? You said what?
Bundies, which is like boxer undies.
So boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs, that's what you
Okay.
guys say.
Got it. So like booty shorts. Kind
Booty
of.
shorts, yeah.
Oh,
Tidy
nice.
whities.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fit Check complete. We're sipping on some homemade cold brew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take
Really,
yours
the
black.
host eye masks, homemade cold
Cookies.
brew, chocolates.
What are these cookies called again? These are my favorite.
Cherries, Corona with the lime. This man cut a lime wedge for me.
We got to do it.
This is incredible stuff. Yeah, James,
Keep
don't
going,
chew,
Mom.
don't
Chew- keep
don't
going,
don't
chew.
chew, don't chew on Mike. Yeah, those. Yeah, and we got a spittoon for the cherry
Yeah.
pits. This is going to be a very ASMR. We got the amazing accent.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
novelty right out the gate. We're
Thank
going to
you.
have a lot of fun ASMR,
All right,
which
I'm done
hopefully
chewing.
doesn't include James chewing into the mic.
Done chewing. Isaac,
Be a
we've all
pro.
been homies for. I mean, you were there when Lawrence and I were first kind of beginning our friendship, and like
Yeah.
we've been homies for a long
At
time.
least over 10 years ago, for sure.
And we need you to settle this ongoing debate between Lawrence and myself that we constantly are having over this classic hashtag menswear night, right? So there's this one evening when a bunch of blogger nerds all linked up with you and a bunch of your female model friends, right?
I remember it well.
Okay,
so-
good.
In my recollection, we go to like the model apartments where they like stuff these like 12
Right.
girls in like
The
a 2-bedroom
barracks.
place. Yeah, the fucking
The orphanage.
Yeah, exactly.
For
And,
hot
It was
people.
up a staircase. It
Yeah.
was up a staircase. I remember that.
Imagine an orphanage, but only sexy babes.
And so in my memory, in my mind's eye, we're all vibing and getting along, and some of us were like, "Oh shit, maybe I have a shot with a model here." But then a bunch of male models showed up who were also your homies, and they obviously these fucking studs walked in, cocks of the walk, absolutely just fucking cucked us to the wayside.
Bogarted all the babes.
And in my recollection, the blogger nerds, the female models, and the male models, we all got on the train and we went to like some party in like LES. We got on the street, we got to the front door of the building, and the male models were like, "Hold up. Everyone who was invited to this party step forward." And
Like
all
Survivor or some
all the
shit.
male models and female models stepped forward, and all the blogger nerds just left standing there, and they're just like, "Yeah, sorry, fellas. Like,
Right.
it's a private party, so we're just gonna have to go on
Literally,
without you."
basically, in so many words, being like, you're not hot enough to continue this night with us.
I mean, that might have happened, but I remember I stayed
And-
with you guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's true.
okay.
And that's when we were like, "Yo, this," and you were in a black leather jacket, and that's when we were like, "It was your like first night in New York," and that's when we were like, "Yo, this guy fucking rules." He like
Right.
gave up the hot people to go chill in a band practice space in some basement. in
Yeah,
Lower
I
Side.
won't.
On Ludlow Street or something like that?
I will
or
protect the innocent, but a certain editor was in a band and he had a practice space in like a storage unit.
It was a basement.
And we didn't bail as much as we got fucking shunned, obviously. And then we just went to the practice space and did drugs all night long.
Okay, yeah. So I will say that was the first time that I took hard drugs in America.
Oh, wow. We'll leave it at
And
that.
I later became addicted to that specific substance.
Wow. Oh, no, dude.
And so I don't want to blame you guys.
Jesus
I blame
Christ.
my drug addiction on you guys, but you were there for the inception.
Hey, and look at you now. It's a journey.
You've come a long way, sweetheart.
This is a full circle moment.
Without hitting
Now
rock
it's time,
bottom.
Lawrence, this is an intervention.
Yeah, right.
Without hitting rock bottom, you wouldn't have made it to the 5th floor. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
true.
To
Very
level
true.
E.
But as far as the details of basically being shunned because we weren't up to snuff when it came to the looks, that's what happened.
I mean,
to some degree.
I would say that it would have been more like we always talk in nightlife. We talk about a ratio, right? And the ratio of males to females. And I would imagine with you guys there being all male,
Yes,
it would have thrown
confirmed.
off the ratio, which should always be like 3 girls to every 1 guy. to
Right.
get
Never
into a
experienced that in
club.
my entire life.
And that's
like
just
that.
math. We're just talking about math.
Purely. And so honestly, generally speaking, I mean, I hate talking about nightlife stuff. It sounds so wanky, but fuck it, we're here, so let's do it. It does not matter what a dude looks like as long as he is with the specific.
Really? That's actually
correct
great
women.
intel for anyone who.
Sadly,
Yeah.
it really matters what the girl looks like.
Yes.
So it is much
Double
safer
standard.
for an extremely unattractive man to show up with a bunch of hotties than it is for
with a gaggle of bitches.
than like a short woman, for
Right.
instance, to show up with like.
Very diplomatic of you. You could have gone a lot of different ways.
Yeah,
there,
I mean,
but
my mom is going to listen to this, and I will get in trouble
everything
for
about
anything
you,
anti-feminist that I
sweetie,
say.
everything about you is perfect. You're just short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see you. I see you
just
short.
short.
I
Get
see
some
you
bigger
short
heels.
queen.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot.
Shout out to
in
short
nightlife,
queens.
there'll be women who are extremely strange looking, but very tall, and they always get in.
Strange looking short queens. Our first title option of what I imagine will be
Well,
many.
from humble beginnings, you are now living the Raya dream of being a full-time DJ. And that is like your job, right? Like you told us, you're like, yo, I'm still not convinced that you and Lawrence think that being a DJ is like a job, but that is confirmed your job.
I'm not convinced that you guys think that I actually can DJ.
I've seen the IG stories. I saw Wonderwall going off last
In
night.
terms of just hitting slappers and making the party go buck.
One of my biggest, I'd say that one of my biggest imposter syndrome things is people who knew me before I was a DJ and then are like, this guy's not a DJ.
As
He's like,
a
I want to be influencer
like a
or
blogger.
blogger.
Right,
Who
okay.
just happened to fall into this thing and now gets booked because he has some followers on Instagram
Sure.
or something like that. But I take my job very, very seriously as a DJ, just so you know.
I mean,
I also take myself very seriously.
Yeah, clearly.
yeah. He says he has titties on the t-shirt.
And when you're talking about the imposter syndrome of DJing, you're just being like people thinking that you don't know how to mix live?
Yes,
Or?
yes, it's that.
Okay, gotcha.
What is, I mean, bro, I can't even fucking imagine what the answer would be. Like, what's the most annoying behavior that you had to put up with as a DJ, a sober DJ at that?
Yeah.
So for me, song requests are fine, and I almost always accommodate people.
Really?
Yeah, I'm.
You live to serve.
I live to serve. I think of DJing like you're a waiter in a restaurant. If you bring people the wrong food, they're going to tell you
you're in the
they don't like
service
the food.
industry.
You are
Send this
definitely-
back.
You
Yeah.
are definitely in the service industry when you're a DJ. And so, if I'm serving people the wrong food and they don't like it, I have to change things real quick. And they're there to be entertained. And if they want to hear specific things to be entertained, then I will do my absolute best to accommodate them. However, the annoying thing is when you're playing a song at 80 BPM and somebody comes and asks you to play something that's 130, it's so different
Right.
and it's going to completely change the vibe.
Yeah.
Then I will try to say to them, hey, listen, I'll do that, but it's going to be in 45 minutes. It's going to be in an hour. And then the annoying person who is always female, always blonde, always rich, always inebriated, comes up to me and goes, I asked you 30 seconds ago, you still haven't played my song.
Yeah.
Okay, the other annoying thing is
And you say,
when-
listen, honey, you're too strange looking and short to not be then slipping me a cool tenor to make this happen immediately.
BPM LM, Isaac.
yeah, so
BPM
that-
LM.
Wait, do people, and on that note, do people, are they paying too? Does that happen where?
Okay, so what happens is rich dudes will come up and it's always rich trust fund dudes whose dads bought them a hotel. I'm talking really
Right,
rich,
sure.
private jet dudes. And I had one at Surf Lodge on Saturday. His family owns Snow Lodge, I think. And fuck that dude. Fuck that
No Lodge
dude.
is what was happening in that storage unit that night.
What was
I'll tell you that much.
What was the request?
He asked me to play he came up to me and was like, yo, I'll pay you $500.
What?
But,
And so you played it immediately.
Like Venmo?
yeah. And but I want to hear that unce unce.
Oh, he wanted a whole genre.
Yeah,
Genre.
He was like, I want to hear deep house. Like, give me some unce unce. We're with like 40 people, and he was with like Suede Brooks and a lot of those like
Sure.
new TikTok influencers.
Right.
And I don't like house music very much. I don't want to play house music.
Right.
And so that always irritates me. Whenever rich white people come up to me and ask me for house music, I'm always
You like your music like you like your rugby teams, all black.
Did you? Nice, well played. Did you take the money in that instance, or
I actually told him no. I said no.
Why don't you just take the money and then just not play it? Like, what can you do?
Because I
Oh,
don't
he would
think-
buy the surf lodge, then
and then fire you?
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that. First of all, like I don't think you can take.
it's
money from
against the
somebody
DJ's code of conduct.
and also, like, I have this thing where it's like I don't want those motherfuckers to feel like they can
They
buy
own you?
me.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck
You're not
it.
in the pocket of Big Snow Lodge.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so then the other thing that annoys me is when really drunk girls think that they are having fun and that I'm having fun and come up behind the DJ
Ooh.
booth and start trying to like grab my dick
Why do you not like that?
Yeah.
because it is
Distracting?
uncomfortable
Yeah.
and distracting and awkward and I don't know these
You're like,
people.
bitch, get out my bondies.
Can you imagine going to Chipotle and you start
Like
making your own
Bundy-
burrito and
Bundies?
shit?
Bitch, get out my bundies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just grabbing the dick of the
And
Chipotle
they
worker,
always
making your
try to
burrito.
scratch. They always try to scratch.
Wait, they're getting on your Seratos and like fucking.
Not scratch the pee-pee.
No,
Scratch
no. One hand
the
scratching
Kiwi
the
J's.
PB, one hand is on the CDJ.
the Kiwi pee-pee, but to make it
think
clear.
that- yeah. They think that it is hilarious to be like, what happens when you...
Oh, talk about fucking up the vibe.
And
dude.
because I am a people pleaser and a pussy,
Yeah.
I don't kick them out myself, but I'll get a bouncer to come over and remove
Got
them.
it. Got it.
Are there DJs typically, and again, like I have to imagine that your sobriety helps you in like not being a creep, but there's got to be DJs that like exploit that, right? And are
Or get in the business for that whole that
Exactly.
sole purpose.
getting just a tsunami of trim.
yeah.
For sure. I mean, yeah, definitely. It's funny because I invited you to the party. I mean, I invited both of you guys, but I was texting with you, James, and you were like, I've never been that good at meeting girls in clubs and bars.
Or on podcasts, apparently.
Yeah. Truth.
Great episode, though. And she was very, very entertaining.
Shout out Annie.
But I
Instant
have never
classic.
actually been that good at picking up girls and
Too
bars
loud.
and clubs.
Even
either.
when you're the talent.
Yeah, and also it's like, it's never the one that I want.
Sure.
Right.
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 There's no long-term possibility.
Although there was
Anywhere
was a adult film actress at your party yesterday that you were like, damn, I wish I'd not that you're like going to go after her or anything, but you're just like, wow, I wish I'd known that was her.
Yeah,
'Cause I kind of recognized her from her work.
I did recognize somebody who was coming up to the DJ booth last night, and I kept on staring at her and staring at her. And then today I found out that it was Janice. Is it Janice Griffins? Janice Griffins?
I don't know if it's like,
I don't know.
Eddie Griffin, Peter Griffin, or like Griffith. You know?
Griffith,
Like,
I
Well,
think.
Yeah, I don't know.
she's going on the mixtape cover, so for
Yep.
all the 18 million at
Yes,
home,
sir.
keep your eyes peeled, and that's whose gaping asshole we're talking about.
has anyone ever gotten like violent with you? I heard this one story about like a certain cigarette smoker or some shit, like this
So-
fucking.
In 2015, I was playing very regularly at a private club off the bottom of Up and Down. It was called Never Never.
Yes,
And
classic.
It was basically like it was their version of an East Village dive bar, like connected
It's
to
just
a
in the
nightclub.
basement.
Yeah, it was in the
Yeah.
basement, but it was like through a secret door
Okay.
through the basement.
Never made it.
Okay, so you
Never,
were only
never
allowed
made
to
it.
play rock and roll. It was like the Strokes and the Clash and stuff like the Cure. You know, you were not allowed to play any hip hop.
Damn.
And,
That sucks.
and a lot of celebrities used to come in. A lot. So one night, Nick Jonas came in wearing a fedora, smoking a cigar that was the same
Smoking
size
a cigar?
as his body.
Oh my
What
God.
a fucking bozo, dude.
Yeah. And
Wait, who's he? Which one is he married to? Who's he married to? I only know them by their-
Priyanka Chopra.
No, that's Nick Jonas.
Yeah, Nick Jonas.
Yeah,
is
Nick
on-
I thought you
Jonas.
said Joe Jonas.
No, Nick
They're all the
Jonas.
Nick
same.
Jonas.
No, I DJed with Joe Jonas there a couple of
okay.
times. Extremely nice guy.
Not a
But
fedora cigar
not
smoking
a fedora
douchebag.
wearing cigar smoker.
Nick is the dick. Joe is the
I
homie.
mean, I didn't talk to him, so I don't know if he was a dick, but he was smoking a cigar.
Trying to
and wearing a
phonetically
fedora.
remember
So
who's cool in the
make
Jonas
up
Brothers.
your own mind. But yeah, so one night I'm DJing there, minding my own business, and it's 2015. The Chainsmokers come in with one of their best friends, right?
All of them? How many are there?
Two.
There are
Okay.
two of them.
I don't know.
And they look so
Two
similar to
smokers.
each other. So with what I'm about to tell you, I can't tell you which one it was.
Which probably good to protect the innocent in this
Yeah.
case. Or the
And-
guilty.
And I don't hold anything against them because they were extremely drunk and they
Sure.
probably thought that I was being a douchebag. But anyway, their best friend comes up to me and he goes, "I'll give you $5. Do you have a Chainsmokers song?" And it was before like Closer had come out. You know, it was like way before that era.
Oh, who's on that? The Halsey song.
Right.
And so 6 years ago, so currently you will not take $500 to play music, but 6 years ago you would have taken $5. This must have been in the middle of your drug addiction. I'm
No,
sure.
it was actually I was like a year sober at that point.
Okay,
But
all right.
And you're like, I made a terrible mistake.
Exactly. And so the friend comes up to me, he goes, "Do you have a Chainsmokers song?" And I looked in my Serato, I looked on my computer, and I had that song as OMG, Can We Take a Selfie?
Oh, right. The
It was
worst,
like the emoji song.
The worst song of all time.
Outro music, boom.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, like I was like, I don't really want
Was
it.
he was he trolling his friend, or was
I
he like?
didn't realize at the time that he was trolling.
Oh, okay.
But
So even the Chainsmokers knew that this was the worst fucking song of all
So
time.
I was like, oh God, he's like, please, 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 they're here. You know, like they're just becoming famous. Like it would be great if you could play one of their songs. I was like, yeah, okay,
For
cool.
$5?
So I mix in OMG, Can We Take a Selfie? And the motherfucker from the Chainsmokers runs up to the DJ booth, picks up my computer and tries to throw it on the ground.
Wow.
And he's a former club
Bro,
DJ.
you made the song.
Yeah. So he knew how
Take
bad
a long,
it was.
hard look in the mirror, dude. I'm not the problem.
I'm not a tough guy, okay? And I had to get physical with this dude. I had to grab the laptop, and another like nightclub DJ who's been around for a long time called Dexter Love. I'm not sure if you guys know Dexter, Filipino guy. He now is a part owner of Ja Ja Ja, the lovely vegan Mexican establishment on the Lower East Side.
I believe it's pronounced ha ha ha.
Yeah, it probably
In Spanish.
is. It probably is, yeah. But we're speaking English right now. So he was there on hand, and he grabbed the dude as well. And
shit.
so like there were no, you know, there was
Did he
no
get out of breath real
fisticuffs.
quick from, chain smoking so much? Like
I was
this
going to
guy-
say chain smoker, more like chain snatcher. This man
damn.
came for your fucking livelihood, bro.
To be fair, I will say when I'm in the fucking club and they start playing a Throwing Fits episode, I also get super fucking violent.
Yeah, when they drop that fucking weedist.
Throw gang, we are joined by. Shut the fuck up. Are celebrities above making requests? Like this guy clearly was very upset that you were playing his very shitty song. But do you get requests from celebs?
I once played a Fat Joe album release party.
Your nemesis.
Well, I think we
See-
kind of squashed the beef, but Fat Joe for the longest time.
Now we gotta
was
put him on the mix-it cover.
Number one, because we're such a fucking of the moment, hyper topical podcast. Fat Joe had his own storyline for, I don't even remember why, but yeah.
No, because he's a dick to me in Dubai. At
Yeah.
Salt,
Oh,
at Salt
yeah, I
Bay's
remember-
restaurant.
I remember hearing about that. At Soul Bass Restaurant, right? Yeah. So this was past the era of Fat Joe. Sadly, it wasn't like the
Fat
lean
Joe's
back.
no,
it wasn't
sure.
the lean back yet.
Right.
But Fat Joe has
The
somehow
Terror Squad had fallen on hard times.
Yeah, it was before All the Way Up had come out as well. So it was like,
damn.
it was in the dark years.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I played an album release party.
His blue
for
period.
Him. It
Who
was more
booked you for that?
like they were looking for
Joe,
a DJ.
Fat
It was
Joe
the
did.
last minute thing. It was like a
Sure.
dinner, and they called my agents. Do you have anybody on the ground in Miami? He did not specifically ask for me. And guess what? Fat Joe requested over and over
The
again.
Chainsmokers.
No,
No, I have no idea.
Fat Joe.
Of course.
So Fat Joe wanted to hear a lot of Fat Joe. I was playing one time at Never Never.
Do you have to honor their requests when it's a fucking celeb or when
it's
it's like
his-
their
it's his
party?
dinner or whatever
I'm
the
gonna
fuck,
play.
obviously.
I'm gonna play Fat Joe.
What about if it's just like a regular club night?
It really depends. Like, if it's a cool person and like they know the club owner and stuff, yeah. Like, when, for instance, when I play like One Oak or any of those butter group places,
Sure.
and like Richie Akiva is sitting next to me on the DJ booth and he's usually like rapping along on the microphone and stuff. If one of his boys comes up and asks for Jay-Z, there's no way in hell I'm not going to play Jay-Z.
That would be bad for business for you to
And
deny that
I'm
request.
respectful of the people who like built these places.
Sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Justin Timberlake came up and requested disco music one time.
He just said a genre,
Yeah.
just disco.
He was like, I want to hear Motown and disco.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, people request music all the time.
As a middle-aged
J-
white man, I am not surprised to hear
Was
that whatsoever.
JT a dick or was he like, yo man?
Nah,
like,
he
you
was
know what I
he was
mean?
nice.
Yeah,
He was
all right.
nice. And actually, funnily enough, my girlfriend, who was formerly a bottle girl,
Bottle
in
woman.
Los
Is
Bottle-
that
Angeles,
how
like-
you guys met in the
No,
club?
no.
Okay.
We met on
We
America's
respect-
greatest dating app, Instagram.
Nice.
We call them bottle women.
Yeah, sorry. No.
Yeah.
So
We don't infantilize our bottle service.
I apologize. So this is years ago when she was living in Los Angeles, and she used to get like booked by Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel, like
As a server,
so she would travel with them like to
What?
different clubs. And,
Really?
and
They
serve
like
them.
she was
I
there.
don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but
Right.
fuck it. It's
Like
not
the-
my, it's not
Wait,
my,
were they just
it's
like
not my
were they just like
joke.
we just like we love the way you open Fiji waters? Like
Right.
Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend is extremely fun in the club. Like, she is.
I apologize, by the way, for scowling at her when she smiled at me on the street.
Don't worry.
So this is like a level up from weed carrier. It's a bottle opener or a bottle carrier.
For sure. But like, she is one of
A
those.
sparkler lighter.
She's one of those people. Remember in Entourage when Turtle,
yes.
when Turtle describes himself as a mood lifter, he lifts the mood of everyone. My girlfriend is very much like that. Like when she is when people are around her, especially in nightlife establishments, she lifts.
She's a mood lifter, and business is a booming.
Yeah, exactly.
She just wants to lift and build.
So she used to travel around Los Angeles nightclubs and get booked direct. So it's like she would have to go into One Oak, not work for One Oak, but she would work the night for Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel.
Incredible.
So you DJ a lot here in New York. You DJ'd a lot in Miami, which we're going to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Have you are you a traveling DJ?
Yeah, I would say so.
Where you going? Oh, what is there stark differences between New York and LA? Let's just start there.
LA, I've only ever played events, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, I think that the big difference in LA is that everybody is vacuous and sucks.
Okay. And dresses terribly.
Yeah, and is so consumed with celebrity culture that I don't think that anybody is actually there to party. Everybody's there to
Just trying to sleep with a celebrity?
or
just see
to
who's
get,
there
or to get a celebrity on their story.
on their podcast.
Yeah, on their podcast.
To link and build.
Yeah, so like I'm not a big fan of
network.
of partying in Los Angeles, but I will say that due to my job and everything, the Zach Beer podcast was one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, sure. Shout out Zach, right? The impresario.
Also a close personal friend of my girlfriend, Miranda.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shout out Zach.
So partying in New York is a lot more fun. Partying in Miami is interesting because there are specific genres of music that go so hard in Miami, and then you get
Like
used
reggaeton
to
and
like
shit?
reggaeton, for instance. And you get used to playing this stuff. And reggaeton music is good in the club. It gets people dancing real sexy. And then you come back here and you're like hyped on the reggaeton. You drop like the biggest reggaeton record in the world by Bad Bunny.
Right.
And everybody in New York goes,
This is in English.
slumps. Yeah,
Well, you should probably go
Yeah, real melting pot shit. Okay.
You could also, I'm sure if you went about 100 blocks north, you might get a different
Sure.
reaction.
This is-
And you're talking about downtown New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White people.
Yeah.
But I will say that despite the fact that it probably looks cool to DJ nightclubs, there's very little money in DJing nightclubs. All of the money in DJing comes on Tuesdays through Thursdays, 6 p.m. through 10 p.m. doing corporate events.
Right. Sure.
So like my biggest paychecks come from like McDonald's or Calvin Klein or Vogue magazine or The Gap or H&M.
Who pays
and stuff
the
like
best?
that. The McDonald's has paid better.
No surprises there.
And
Get that quarter pounder bag.
they were launching a merch collection. Sadly, not the Travis Scott merch collection.
Right.
They were launching a merch collection in 2019. They booked me for 3 hours, and I'll save it for later. But I will tell you how much they paid me, but in the money section.
Okay.
So,
wow. A real pro.
Something for
That's
people
what we
to look
call a
forward
little
to.
tease so that we can sustain the listenership.
Don't go anywhere.
What's the lamest party you've ever had to DJ? Because these sound like, while they may pay the bills,
I mean,
right?
McDonald's
they
sounds
fucking
pretty lame.
I DJ'd a lame party the other day at Ludlow House. The establishment was fine. It was for these very strange individuals who, okay, so there, where Montenegro is? On
The country?
On the eastern coast of Europe.
Yeah.
So there is like an abandoned city in Montenegro. That
What do you call me?
Rich.
Damn, got his ass.
Wow.
Keep it pushing.
Okay, cool.
push through, Isaac.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Okay, so there's
Got plenty more of that.
There's an abandoned city in Montenegro, and these rich New York dudes have gotten the rights to create their own country.
What is it gonna be, like a
This
fucking
abandoned
crypto
city.
paradise or
Yeah,
some shit?
basically.
Yes, exactly.
Sure.
And I DJ'd their
I think this is what Jeffrey Epstein was trying to do, by the way.
But I didn't
Their
find
little
out who
island.
the client was until I arrived there.
In
And
the
then-
city or at Ludlow
No,
House?
at Ludlow House. And then when I got there, I realized that it was like what it was. And then people started talking about Jeffrey Epstein. I was like, damn, this is like not necessarily a good thing that I'm doing right now.
Right.
But they're paying me.
Was the
and
party to like recruit like hot girls to
it
come
was
join them
a
in this
bit
fucking
Ponzi, like
A bit
pyramid
groomy.
scheme.
yeah?
But definitely there were like women who were very clearly being paid to be there
Sure.
to like. And it was no surprise that the guys, I mean, like, I'm sure they're nice guys, whatever. Maybe they're not.
I'm
Probably
sure
not.
they're probably not.
It was no surprise to me that the guys who were trying to create this new country were all under
ridiculous.
5'4".
Hell yeah. Short kings.
Short kings.
We got some strange looking
Napoleonic
short queens
syndrome.
for you
God
guys.
damn.
Don't even worry.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a party that you had to like just like whether I mean sounds like you showed up and you don't really know what the information is until you hit the ground. But like, has there ever been something that you just had to leave because you got like way too many like grooming vibes or Epstein vibes or whatever? Like,
I've never had a situation where
you've always seen it through.
He always pushes through, just like on podcasts.
And I will do everything I can to try and make the party work. Like, I am like a people pleaser.
You live to serve.
Yeah, I live to serve. Like, I'm
a true man of the people.
I am trying to like, so
like
if it's older people, then I'll play only, music from the 70s.
Reggaeton.
Stuff like that. Like
Electric Slide, run it back.
100%. But I have definitely had situations happen where no matter what I do, nothing.
Have you turned down a bag up front because you had the information about what the event was going to be?
Yeah, I used to not play for any alcohol companies, and I've since like
really.
Yeah, I used to be like, I'm not going to take money from an alcohol company because of what alcohol did in my own life.
Sure.
But then after a while, I was like, you know what? If they're going to pay me $5,000 to like come and DJ for a couple of hours,
fuck it.
Like,
these under-eye masks ain't cheap.
Exactly. And like I did DJ the Verve Clico Polo.
That's
game,
right. You killed that. Yeah, that's right. That's gotta be.
You have seen me DJ then.
I have. Yeah, I have. That must have been a nice check
that
too,
was fun.
my friend.
That was fun. And I was DJing with one of my close personal friends, Amaret, who I threw the party with last night.
Right.
And anytime we play together, it's always a good time.
So obviously you do the solo DJ vibes where you do like the Ronin shit. Do you like it when you link up with a friend like Amaret?
It is really fun to play back to back with people.
It's half the work.
Yeah, especially when they're like
Daft Punk
on
vibes.
the same vibe.
It's like what? It's me and you. I mean, I think I want to do this alone.
Bar for bar.
I mean, maybe if I was getting all the money, but ultimately it is nice to have
I freaked out when Lawrence got up for 45 seconds.
I know, exactly.
Where you going?
Exactly. But yeah, you guys bounce off each other, and the same thing with DJs. Like, it's exciting when you don't know the song that the person's going to play next. They do something good, and you're like, oh, I have to beat that.
I tremble at the thought of what's coming out of Lawrence's mouth next.
So I will say my favorite people to play back to back with are Amaret and then Hank. You know, the young DJ.
Yes, Brock.
Wait, Brock's
shout out Brock, a guest on the former podcast endeavor that shall not be named.
I've met Brock one time, but like I don't really know Brock. But like Hank, there's every single I know exactly why he's as successful as he is.
He plays a lot of like
good DJ.
He plays a lot of like disco and like deep cut shit, right?
Yeah, he does.
For a young man,
but he's also really good at like a commercial like hip hop
right
as well, and he's a lot of fun.
Sick.
He's very good at what he does.
Is there kind of pivoting away from like the whack parties? Is there like a party that stands out to you in the last like, let's say, well, fuck, I guess like COVID happened. So let's say in the last like 2 years, is there a party that like really sticks out to you? Is like, yo, that was the sickest fucking gig, or like I killed it the hardest there?
Okay, so I played a in-store event for American Eagle when they opened that Union Square.
Shout out Todd Snyder.
What, was he?
Todd Snyder is owned by American Eagle.
Cool. So yeah, I played this American Eagle event, and my opener was Rick Ross.
Rick Ross opened for you?
Rick Ross opened for you?
Yeah, so
you were the Chapo. You were the Chapo Trap House to his throwing fits.
So Rick Ross, Rick Ross performed, and then I went on stage to DJ straight after.
Performed?
Rick Ross.
How long was his set?
He did like 8 songs, and so he did every big
like a medley.
Yeah, basically.
Was the American Eagle crowd receptive to the Biggest Boss
that we've seen thus far?
They were. And do you know what? I'm gonna. Rick Ross is actually my favorite rapper.
Oh, first of all, Miami vibes. We've already shout out great city, a lawless land.
Yeah.
But
maybe
Rick Ross has slaps.
Maybe we can
rules.
What's your favorite Rick Ross song?
Aston Martin music.
All right, we're
mine would be "Fuck With Me, You Know I Got It" with Jay-Z.
Also
incredible.
Also
BMF, but we don't fucking play the third verse by what's his name?
Styles P.
Yeah, Styles P.
Yo, come on,
shout
out Styles P.
Change the outro music to Aston Martin music.
Okay.
All right, cool. So, so we're writing notes.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, I remember back in the hashtag menswear days, you guys were always doing like Rick Ross grunt. You'd always put Rick Ross grunt on all of your like
hashtag
probably. I mean, that seemed like a very cool. Corny thing that a bunch of white and half white people would do.
100%. Okay, so I go onto stage to DJ, and you know Rick Ross has his own fried chicken company.
What the fuck?
No, Wingstop.
Yeah, Wingstop.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Wingstop. And so
I think he owns a bunch of franchises, but either way, he's like the face of Fat Boy Need a 10-piece.
Boom. So I go on and I DJ, and Rick Ross comes from the backstage onto the stage with big boxes of chicken wings in his hand and starts handing out chicken wings to everybody in the audience.
That's sick.
How else do you win the crowd over besides throwing them some fucking wings?
And you know, like, I am never surprised by successful people when you see them in real life and you see what they do to get to that point.
Yeah.
Like, that is above and beyond. He's not a diva. He's not too cool to hang out with people. He's not too cool to like like fraternize with the little people in the crowd. He goes and hands them chicken. Like,
He's the people's champ.
exactly. I love that dude.
He's feeding the people, bro. He's literally feeding the people.
What did that do? Were people then going fucking nuts? And then did you just
wild.
drop like the fucking hardest Rick Ross song you think of?
He'd already played all his best records.
True. You got to run it back.
Did you ask Rick Ross how much he was getting paid for American
I
Eagle?
didn't. He actually
That's got to be $1 million.
He didn't talk to me, sadly, but yeah, he must have gotten. He must have gotten a lot.
The people's champ did not talk to me.
As the opener, he was scared to talk to the headliner. Obviously,
I can understand.
He went back to his
intimidation.
He went back to his shitty little green room while you had the fucking, the trailer out back.
Exactly.
What's been the most exclusive party that you've ever DJ'd, Isaac?
Ooh.
Oh.
A
contemplative.
I mean,
a prolonged.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess the most exclusive would be it's not like I didn't get paid. I actually don't even think I invoiced for it, so I didn't even get paid. But
What?
I occasionally will play the One Oak private room downstairs.
What's going on in there?
There is no bar. Okay, so you can't even order drinks. Everything is brought to you.
Wow.
And it's basically like no holds barred.
Have you seen people obviously doing drugs for sure, but have you seen people fucking down there?
I did see somebody through the crack in the bathroom door having sex in the toilet there one time.
Nice. It was The
is that
Weeknd and Julia Fox.
Yeah.
Famously seen in Uncut Gems.
For sure. And it's there. It's that room that they filmed that bit in.
Do you see a lot of finger banging on the dance floor?
It did in high school, but I haven't seen a lot of that. But I've
It's a big New Zealand tradition. It's a rite of passage.
I'll never
That and
forget
fucking
that
sheep.
I was dancing on stage at a high school disco next to the DJ. Like the little thought that I was, and I remember seeing a girl being fingered on the dance floor,
and that's when you knew this was the life for you.
Yeah.
3 months later, she left school pregnant.
Wow, how does that work?
I don't know.
From the finger? That's a powerful finger.
My parents weren't explaining something to me. But
Yeah. See, when a sheep loves another sheep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Clear this up. Is there a lot of sheep fucking in New Zealand?
We have 10 times more sheep than human beings.
See? So you have to extrapolate
and sometimes you need to keep warm on a cold
Right.
winter's night.
So if you have 10 times the sheep, I would imagine you have 10 times the sheep fucking then.
I would
That's
imagine
also
so.
math.
Yeah, exactly.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Right, sure.
Have you ever gotten nervous?
I get nervous
Or like-
before every single gig.
Really?
Every gig.
I
I played a room of like 70 of my friends and Amaret's friends last night,
Right.
and I was scared before I went on.
Do you have any advice then for two guys who are now just embarking into the live show arena?
I think the nerves are good. Like, nerves show that you care. And I once read that article, the Frank Sinatra Has a Cold.
Yes,
Yeah.
by Gay Talese.
By Gay Talese, which is,
What do you call
if
me?
you haven't read it.
Damn it. He's so good.
He's so good.
God damn.
I saw it coming 10. I'm 10 steps ahead of you.
This is one of the things that I do when I'm listening to the episode. Like, I text about like you guys, like your quick lines, because you guys are fucking good. And do you know what? Because I'm the narcissist that I am, I will listen to your podcast and feel annoyed with myself that I couldn't have come up with the joke that you guys came up with. That's how fucking good.
You know what you
that
got to
I
do?
think you
Listen
guys
to it
are.
in 0.5x speed.
Yeah.
Slow it down,
Yeah.
Isaac. And then it'll only
100%.
take 6 hours to finish.
True.
But this is why we are the only podcast that matters.
You guys are the only
because
podcast.
We are on
and,
another
like,
fucking
I
level.
am continually impressed. Every episode I listen, I'm
Thank you,
like,
dude.
you guys are so quick. You're so witty.
Clip
I
this
love
out for
it.
TikTok. Clip
Yeah,
this out
please.
for TikTok. Make this a sound.
I will.
What's your so if you're nervous and you use this to your advantage, what's your preset ritual?
I will try to calm myself a little bit before I go on. I try not to drink anything, even water, before I go on.
Because you don't want to pee or
Because I
whatever.
don't want to pee.
You
Like,
don't-
literally
you don't want-
that because I don't want to pee.
You don't like wear Did you just wear diapers?
Nah, I just like dehydrate myself. Honestly.
Okay.
I
Right, so you
dehydrate
just
myself.
if you see Isaac behind the ones and twos, you know he's dehydrated.
Yeah.
But if there's a fucking DJ
I
that's
walk
doing
into a room. I try to stand in the room for like 10 minutes before I go on.
while
I'll stand-
people are
Yeah.
milling about and partying.
And I'll stand in some like inconspicuous.
This is like
place
a
and
an
just
NBA
watch.
guy doing a little shoot around or
Yeah.
an NFL guy doing a walkthrough.
Exactly.
You want to be on the field. You want to take in.
absorb the
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah,
a little
and
bit.
I think that one of the best qualities for a DJ to have, and one of the worst qualities to have in life, is to be an extremely sensitive person. And I am a very sensitive
Why is
person.
that? Why is that?
Because when you're sensitive, it hurts.
Sure.
But when you're sensitive as a DJ, you can really feel the mood of the crowd.
Got
You can
it.
feel
Like
the
turn
vibe.
against you or.
Yeah, but also like it helps a lot as well. So I think that like having some like trying to be intuitive with the emotional feeling of the crowd is a really helpful thing.
This
to
is
do
good
when you're
advice. This is
DJing.
taking maybe your insecurities and using them in a way to help you,
Yeah.
right?
And
Flip
I try
it
to
on
play.
its head.
I try to play to who is in the room. I don't try to play like the coolest thing. like last weekend, for instance, at Surf Lodge, on the Saturday night, I was playing to a whole big crowd of like young women. I dropped an Olivia Rodrigo song
course.
and they went crazy.
I'm sure.
On the Sunday night, I played to a room full of like people my age. I'm 37 years old.
Right.
And they wanted to hear like, Don't Stop Believing and shit like that, right? I played the same Olivia Rodrigo record. It completely fizzled.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Bombed.
And so you got to play to the crowd.
Sure.
You know,
Is there a universal banger where no matter where you are or your go-to, if like
What is the Mount Rushmore of universal bangers?
okay, yeah. The Mount Rushmore of universal bangers for me are My Neck, My Back.
Sure.
Always works.
Because sex sells.
my pussy and my
Always
crack?
works,
Hell
okay?
yeah.
Dancing Queen always
ABBA.
works.
Really? Even with
Always
Zoomers?
Yeah.
Interesting, because they're all dancing queens themselves.
Yeah, everybody likes that song.
Dancing
That is, I'm very surprised to hear that. But okay, cool.
So like if you're playing to a young crowd right now, Driver's License is the hottest record.
Sure.
you
Shit
can
still
play.
slaps.
And when you get to that last big chorus, people lose their mind. Okay, so it really like I knew you guys were going to ask a question like this, right?
Okay.
And I was trying to figure out how do I answer it, but like I'm just going to be honest, okay? If I am playing to a white crowd,
Right.
Mr. Brightside will
Oh,
work every single time, okay?
Life imitating art, dude.
If I am playing to a black crowd, Wayne Wonder, No Letting Go works
Sure,
incredibly
of course.
well. Another
Iconic.
song that works incredibly well that I've been playing a lot recently is Be Without You by Mary J. Blige.
Classic.
Fucking slaps. And the same thing with that song by In Vogue. What's it gonna be?
right, yeah.
'Cause I can't pretend.
Sure.
if we book you at the next Throwing Fits,
Which is
Jonah
my
Hill
dream
Day
gig.
free,
Right, okay.
what are you going to drop at the fucking peak of the
Teenage
party?
Dirtbag Dog, come on.
Oh yeah,
Is it?
100%
Is
on
it?
Teenage
Come on,
Dirtbag.
that's a listen, for all the Pulitzers you got lining the shelves, that's an easy
See,
one,
once
dog.
again, I asked the question.
Yeah, I know. I didn't have a really answer for that. So
Let me ask you a question right about, so you've mentioned a lot of like slower songs that maybe are like a slower burn that, like you said, culminate in big chorus, like people want to sing along versus dancing.
yeah, but like No Letting Go is a like straight dance song. Like
Okay.
if you're playing to a crowd of people who can appreciate dancehall music, Gal, you're a party animal.
Yeah, oh, right, yeah,
goes
yeah.
so hard. Yeah, like
People
really,
that are trying to wind.
and then if you're
That's
like,
Egyptian Hold Ya for me.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah,
Another
great song.
classic.
Love that
universal
song.
banger.
Classico.
Okay, if it's like the height of the party, I love to drop Conga by Gloria Estefan.
Okay.
That makes people
That's
lose
got to
their
be that's
minds.
Miami classic vibes.
Yeah, but it works really well here in New York
Okay.
as well.
Wow.
What
love that.
But then, like, if you're in a room full of men,
Which, by the way, it's Throwing Fits party.
work,
Ferg?
yeah.
Put it in
Put you
work.
down to the socks like a Biggie Papa.
Baby.
Girl, in my Tommy boxes. Yeah, that,
Oh, really though?
that always
check me
goes
out.
on.
Are you looking for two hype men?
Oh my God, I would love Hype Man.
Lawrence is a white girl at heart in that he loves to get on elevated
Oh, I
surfaces
get
and
on-
jump
I-
around
I
and
will
then
be-
bust his ass.
Yeah, and then fall without fucking fail.
I would mic you up for that.
Put a body cam on him.
I need a GoPro, dude, for when I bust my ass.
What did Kanye think when you DJ'd the Yeezus season 2 after party?
Yeezy season 2.
Yeezy season 2.
So I am also, alongside being a massive Throwing Fits fan, I am a massive Kanye West
You and me
fan.
both, brother. I mean, this whole pod is.
And
you know.
so, like, when I was getting ready for that gig and I was the only person in the room and Kanye walked in by himself and it was like me and Kanye in the room.
what was
I
the
like,
venue? Where was the set?
It was at Never Never.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Joe Jonas also played that night and so did Virgil. And I was like, this is insane. Like, I am about to do like
Right.
my Grail.
yeah.
Sure.
You guys talk?
I have talked to him a couple of times before. I kind of followed Kanye around the world a couple of times.
To like all the fashion weeks?
Yeah,
To try to assassinate him? Or?
No, just because I was a fan. I flew to Australia when he released that short film that he did.
The shit that was filmed in Dubai and whatever, that thing.
The one that had Selena Ebanks in it.
You're talking
My
about
Beautiful
My
Dark-
Beautiful Dark Twisted
Yeah.
Fantasy one.
So,
Okay,
and
sorry.
like
different
he
one.
did like a screening for the film.
Well, you flew from New Zealand.
I flew from New Zealand to
Okay.
Australia.
It was a little 40-minute flight.
No, for sure. But I was also there in Paris, the very first fashion show that Kanye
that
ever
bombed.
went to. No. I was there when he was dressed up with Virgil and all those guys that got
the Tommy
parodied
Tonto.
by-
Their first
2009,
fashion week that they were
Yeah.
that they were guests of, not his first show.
I've been there at a lot of those like first Kanye moments.
Right.
I was there when Kanye came out with Amber Rose for the first time. They were both wearing those full-length fur jackets.
Sure.
Remember
I remember
photograph?
that, yeah.
I was there. And so yeah, I DJ'd this party.
So when he
and-
walks in the room,
Yeah,
what happens?
I mean, I actually was too scared to talk to him, to be honest, because I'm a pussy. But in 2011, I went to a Band of Outsiders show, and they used to give out cookies at the Band of Outsiders show. And at the end of the show, I was sitting opposite Kanye. I went up to him and I was like, "Yo, can I get a photograph?" And he was like, "Oh, let me finish my cookie. Let me finish my cookie." So I come back 5 minutes later. He's finished his cookie, and I'm like, "Can I get the photo?" He was like, "Yeah." I put my arm around him, and then I get starstruck to the point where I could not let go. And I was like, I love you. I was like, I love you. You don't understand.
Oh, you had one of those moments.
I'm your biggest fan from New Zealand. Like I've like flown around the world to see you. Like I am your biggest fan. He was like, yeah, cool, man. The next day in the New York Post or one of those newspapers, there was an article that said a crazed New Zealand fan
Like page
accosted
6.
accosted Kanye West at the Band of Outsiders show.
Not wrong.
Sources
not wrong.
say this is Kanye like hitting up the gospel report,
That
being
is,
like,
my,
listen,
that is my claim to fame.
let's
That
get
was
this
not
guy to kill
clickbait.
himself immediately.
That was all facts, though. That was not fake news.
Is Virgil a good DJ,
So-
in your opinion, as a DJ?
Yeah, I think that Virgil is a good DJ. What Virgil does is he controls the room. Like, Virgil does something that I would never do. Virgil will allow 30 seconds of dead air, and everybody's like seething, getting
Right.
so hyped up, and then he'll drop the new Travis Scott record.
Right,
and
right.
People will lose.
He
their
lets it fucking
mind.
build
Yeah.
and coalesce to the point where it
There is
explodes.
an enormous amount of confidence involved in doing something like that.
Yeah.
And he does it.
He knows he has the kids wrapped around his finger.
Exactly. And like, yeah, I really, really respect him for that.
What's the ideal gig in your opinion? Is it like a small house party? Is it like a fucking
Wedding of a friend?
festival? Is it
Weddings are probably
Your enemy's
my favorite.
funeral?
Weddings are probably my favorite thing to play, just because everybody is there to party, everybody's there to have fun, everybody gets
the
wasted.
vibes are so beautiful.
And you can just play like banger after banger after banger, and it's just all fun music that people want to go wild
how
to.
often, because I feel like you recently played a wedding,
I
right?
played a wedding on Friday.
So how often do your friends hit you up and like ask you to basically DJ their wedding for free? I would imagine.
I mean, I'm like a Peter Pan who hangs out with a lot of Peter Pans, and so like not a lot of my friends are getting married.
Right. Okay.
That's the
Rare.
honest
like
truth, but-
Sexy Jimmy.
Yeah, yeah.
Single.
Yeah.
Ready to mingle.
We're in the
I'll hit you up in 15 years.
yeah, nice. But yeah,
When I finally land a podcast guest.
whenever I have a friend who gets, whenever I know somebody who gets married, they will often hit me up, and I'm always very, very happy to do that gig. But like the party that I did last night at Dingaling on
Ding-a-ling.
ABC, which is like, I hated the name at the start, and now I can't stop saying it.
You're the king-a-ling of ding-a-ling.
I love that. So yeah, like that was a party that we could have 75 people in the room,
Right.
and it was like we just invited all of our friends, and everybody was there to have fun, and it didn't get overcrowded. That's really fun. But like, like my ego says that like, DJing a party for Dior is
Sure,
like
of
rules.
course.
I've played Dior, I've played Valentino, I've played YSL, I've played the Yeezy, like all that stuff like feels really good. But I like a bar that becomes a dance party
Got it.
Ooh.
where people can still walk around.
Sure.
I don't like
So
where
it's like the
everyone's,
idea-
crammed tight.
The ideal crowd where you're not cramped in shoulder to
Exactly.
shoulder.
Exactly.
You can still talk to
Yeah.
people if you want. You can still dance if you want.
Yeah.
How long have you been sober, Isaac?
I got sober on July 21st, 2014. So if I do not drink,
you're coming up
by
on 7
July
years.
21st,
Fingers
this year,
crossed.
It's gonna be 7 years.
Wow.
Is it hard to maintain sobriety when your job is to literally party?
No, I'll tell you why. It's actually, I'm a much better DJ as a sober person than
Sure.
I was when I was sniffing white powders below the DJ booth and
Right.
caring much more about that than the next song. That I was playing.
Right.
But I am separated from people in the DJ booth.
Right.
And also, like, it allows me to control my experience. And also,
You're the puppet master.
I get to control the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, I get to like dictate the terms.
Is
I'm partying
that
at.
a better drug than doing actual drugs?
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, because it feels like it's a good feeling to be DJing and like having people like sing along and dance.
Yeah.
But like, it's not that good a feeling to have to keep on going back to the bag every 4 minutes.
Right.
Are people constantly trying to like buy you shots or buy you drinks?
Yeah,
or like,
a lot. But I'm like, I
You
just
say
say
no?
no. I just say thank you very much. But no.
so you really are like the ultimate control thing, right?
Yeah.
The fact that you are puppet mastering the whole fucking room.
Yeah.
Do you have an
And-
ultimate
and,
goal?
like, I try to like I go to meetings every day,
Mhm.
and I try to I try to check in with sober people a lot and
Sure.
stuff like that. So like I keep my I do everything I need to do to be like emotionally healthy. And the moment I let that stuff slip, things start to get out of control very quickly in my life.
Right.
And that, not to say that
it snowballs quickly.
And that happens,
No
I
pun
would say,
intended.
like twice or 3 times a year where I'll start to like snowball and go kind of crazy.
But you
Right.
recognize it.
I recognize it, but it will usually like, I'll hit some form of emotional bottom.
Without
before.
maybe getting too personal or graphic or as much as you want, like how bad was it at its worst? Like would you have that rock bottom moment?
Oh, no, it was like a rock bottom 3 years, I would say.
Yeah.
These are 20s.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that it's like behaving in ways that like there's, we talk about when you get sober, we talk about hitting a rock bottom, but then you say that your rock bottom has trapdoors,
Right.
And so you're like,
It goes deeper.
I would never do this, and then you do it,
Right.
And then I would never do that, and then you do it. The unacceptable becomes acceptable.
Wow, okay.
And I was starting to behave in ways where I could no longer look myself in the mirror.
Wow.
And I couldn't, like, the person who I thought that I was and the person who I actually was were like black and white.
Right.
Were like night and day. There was no aligning them, and I wanted so badly to not be that person, and I couldn't stop the behavior because like it's never just about drugs and alcohol.
Sure, there's so much
drugs
more.
and alcohol are the symptom.
That's the surface, right? Or whatever.
It's the symptom. The
Right.
problem is you have this like bottomless pit of whatever it is that you're trying to fill with all this external
Clothes.
stuff to make yourself.
Johns.
Yeah. John's right.
Exactly.
If you're lucky.
Did being in nightlife like enable that to, or
Oh,
if
for
that was
sure.
there no matter what, but did being in nightlife kind of exacerbate the issue?
100%. Yeah. And because it's like everything's acceptable. I DJ'd a lot of these clubs where if you're a regular, you can do anything and you're never going to get thrown out.
Right.
And yeah, like I was doing, I was behaving in ways that were just like, I don't really like, there's some things that I did that I don't want to really like
Sure.
get into.
Totally
but like,
fine.
I
Respect that.
especially in relationships, I behaved in absolutely unacceptable ways, and especially in unacceptable ways that men should not behave towards women. I would say.
Right.
And I was, like on the light side, like I was intimidating to women physically,
Sure.
which I think is a disgusting way for a man
Right.
to
Terrible
behave.
quality.
And so like I would do things like that, and then just like constantly needing validation. I was a hopeless social climber. Like it was all about
Terror,
like,
and
I mean,
that's like such a and when you and as someone who's out and in a scene and whether it's fashion or nightlife, whatever, you see people like that all the time, and it is like
It's gross.
so transparent and
Yeah.
disgusting and terrible.
and
So
I
yeah,
mean,
I
you
feel
guys
you,
might
dude.
remember like what I was like back in those like every
I don't know, man.
photograph
You
on
were fun.
Instagram.
Dude. I always thought you were fun,
I was
bro.
fun, and it was fun. It wasn't
Right.
all, like it wasn't all problems. Like my stuff was like I was fun when I was out, and then I would go home and do dark shit.
Right.
When I was using drugs by myself and
Sure.
or in a cubicle by myself, and like, yeah. So like,
It was bad.
it was bad, but yeah, and the other thing was that I was obsessed with this public persona. I was obsessed with everything looking perfect on the outside,
Right.
and also like that's impossible to keep up when you're doing dark shit behind the scenes. as
Absolutely.
Well, 7 years later, it sounds like nothing.
You're on the
but-
right side
yeah.
of history now, baby.
Exactly.
Things
And
are
that's what
getting better.
matters.
Things
yeah.
are
And it sounds like,
It
I mean,
gets better, kids.
the personal, the professional, the internal, the external is all on the rise. Do you have, as a DJ, just professionally speaking, do you have like an ultimate goal?
I would like to release music.
Ooh.
I've had a couple of songs that I've done that I've been too much of a pussy to put out.
What's
really?
the genre?
That
I guess-
unz?
I would say like there's a couple of songs that are like Phoenix-y.
Oh, really? Okay.
Are you singing?
I'm singing, yeah.
Because when you were singing earlier, I'm like, all right, King, let's
I'll
go,
tell you,
dude.
When it was more like when I was doing the Ferg though, right? That was- that
Yeah,
was
but
when you
all
really
of that.
felt it.
So you want to be a rapper? Yeah.
Your Rick Ross grunts are just perfectly in
The
tone.
first New Zealand rapper ever.
Exactly. Oh no, we actually Savage is a New Zealander. Swing. Oh shit, sack.
Oh, because I didn't know who you were talking about,
Yeah.
but now I know. Okay, all right,
Anyway,
respect.
so we've had a couple-
So the second rapper
Also,
ever from New
How
Zealand.
Bizarre is a New Zealand song.
That's not
Bizarre.
rap though.
What kind of rap?
What about,
who's
the Flight of the Concords guys? They
Oh, yeah,
rap.
yeah, yeah.
who?
The hip hop.
Hip-hop
Us.
and
You're talking about How Bizarre.
Yeah, yeah.
Dee-dee-dee,
He's
who-
kind of rapping.
Who's no?
He's
stop.
like talk singing.
That was like rap ska.
Anyway, that's the most
Type shit.
that's the most successful New Zealand
Sure.
song of all time.
Right,
you see
right,
that? But yeah, so I would like to release music, and then I would also I've never played a festival before. I would love to play a festival.
big crowd.
But you can't do that until you release music. Like you really
Really?
have to have something of your own that you can put out there and then like tour with it.
Do you think we're gonna hear your music or see your music out there anytime soon?
Yeah, I would say hopefully in 2021. If not
Okay.
2021,
You're finally
definitely
moving past this idea of
2022.
being
Well,
like
we're-
a pussy with
Yeah.
it.
We're
And I
halfway
think
through the
there's
year, so you
there's
got
like-
6
Yeah.
months, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. There's that great quote from who the Australian guy, Nick Cave.
Nick
Yes.
Cave, yeah,
Nick
yeah.
Cave. And he did a commencement speech or something, and somebody asked him how he had managed to be so successful over the years. And he said, I put out everything that I make, no matter if it's
Wow.
good or if it's
I
bad.
love that
and
mentality.
he was like 99% of it absolutely sucks and fails, but 1%
Nick Cave
hits.
wrote your favorite movie of all time.
That's true. The Proposition.
Yeah.
and director.
Not only is he a singer-songwriter, an actor, screenwriter.
Yeah.
For every and an artist, for every like a visual artist, for every fucking he does put out a lot of music, and maybe it is 99% trash, but then you have the No Pussy Blues
Exactly.
for the 1%.
Exactly.
So Isaac, you are on the front lines here in New York City. You were there in Miami. What are your predictions from what you've seen so far and what you're fucking feeling in the room, the vibras that you're absorbing? What are your predictions for the horniest summer in modern recorded history,
So
if not all time?
last night I saw this one dude
Oh fuck!
make out with 4 different beautiful women.
Hell yeah.
Was,
Right
was
in front of
it?
me. He was like a very, very good looking, light skinned, kind of like male model looking
Sure.
dude.
Oh, okay. So
And
this
he
is
was-
a fucking.
So he's just living his life.
You know what? Like, do you know what I have discovered, and which I wish that I had known in the in my 20s?
The horny 20s.
I wish that I hadn't been such a pussy when it came to approaching women.
Right.
And I wish that I could have just been like made my intentions clear very quickly. I always had this
Honesty and
obsession-
transparency.
Yeah, I had an obsession with being like, oh, I'm a nice guy. I'm not like I'm a nice guy. I wasn't.
That's
a fucking
just what
nice
a
guy.
bad guy would
I was
say.
just a pussy,
Bro,
you know?
your brand is literally called "I Like You." Why not just say that to the girl?
Exactly, I do. I give out the stickers, but
You got to get some special stickers. I like you.
Yeah.
yeah, nice. So anyway,
Great advice.
I'll do that. Thank you. Yeah. Bars.
I'll pocket that.
And that's a free one from Friendly Jimmy.
Yeah,
but,
thank you.
but this guy
This
was
guy-
just
no,
being forthright,
He was
handsomeness
just
or not.
He was handsome, but he was also just extraordinarily confident, and he was just forward, and he like
Not in a creepy
no,
way.
no, he
What
wasn't
is making?
creepy.
What's the point of?
Well,
okay.
hot guys like that, it's
He
tough
was
to be
charming.
creepy.
You know, he was,
Excuse me, but or part of. I don't know if this is going to come off crass, but like, what's the point of making out with like 4 different women? Sure, it's like fun in those like
you don't
I
like
know,
making
20
out? Who doesn't
Yeah,
like
20,
making
30
out?
seconds, but like, did he burn the bridge with when he made out with
Previous
woman
three?
number
he,
1?
he did not leave the club alone.
Okay.
He didn't leave the bar.
He was
So
working
just-
his way through.
Yeah, I guess so. And I was like, damn, that's impressive. And then I saw girls making out with each other. I think that that's something that we're going to see a lot more of.
A lot of making out.
A lot of female displays of affection.
Okay, nice.
You mentioned Olivia Rodrigo and whether it's good for you or still driver's license,
Yeah.
but does this year, and it's been contentious the past few years, especially last summer, right? Well, I guess it was WAP, but what is this year's summer anthem?
I would like, for me, it's driver's license still.
Damn.
But I think there's something about good for you that like the hate screaming,
Right.
like the hate scream singing of that, because everybody talks about this being the whole, I mean, I don't know if everybody does, but I definitely hear it on Throwing Fists. This
Yes,
is the horniest
absolutely.
summer.
We're playing our flag in, well, I don't want to say we're playing it, but yeah.
But I
We're drawing
also-
a line in the. No, we can't say that. Okay.
I
We're doing
also think
something
there's
here.
Something we need to remember is that like everybody has emotions, and I think we do our fucking
Besides sociopaths.
damnedest to suppress our emotions at all times, right? But it's not a realistic thing to be able to do. So if people are sleeping with lots of people, they're eventually going to get hurt feelings,
Right.
At some point, male or female, like
Or
you
her-
can't do
or her
it.
That's the
genitals.
human
Robots.
condition, for sure.
Exactly. And so the lyrics of a song like "Good for You" or "Driver's License" are going to hit so
They
much harder.
resonate.
They resonate,
For sure.
especially in the horniest summer.
Okay, interesting.
See, I was going to go with Megan Thee Stallion thought shit, but
No,
we'll go-
Because the other side to horniness is who gets burned and spurned in that process
Exactly.
of sucking and fucking.
Whether
bet you-
emotionally-
That's 50% of the population.
whether emotionally or
Yeah,
genitalia speaking.
Exactly. Get tested, kids.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Especially
Oh my
now more
God.
than ever.
Yeah.
Literally bring your results to the club, dude.
Yeah. Yo,
For real.
don't laminate your vaccine card, but maybe on the other side of like the plastic baggie that you
Yeah.
keep it in, have your latest STD results. How about
Instead
that?
of James like paying you or just asking for a request, you could be like, just want to say quick announcement, sexy Jimmy, clear. Totally clean. Good to go.
We hope. I'm hearing
Yeah.
back from City MD any minute
Sure.
now.
I actually do hand out "I like you" condoms
Right.
when I'm DJing.
Yes, I've not used them, but I
Yeah,
have
what's
them.
how do they stack up to the more mainstream major brands of prophylactics?
Oh, I've never used a condom before, so I couldn't tell you.
know. Same. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, right?
You do date a lot of beautiful people in your past and present. What's the secret to dating models?
You fucker! I knew you were gonna
The
ask
$1 million fucking question.
I think that people are people, and when you put them up on
Even models,
yeah, especially models, and when you put them up on a pedestal, that's never gonna work. Right?
So treat them like shit. Neg them.
Treat them like regular human beings because they are regular human beings. And I'll tell you how I know, okay?
Treat them like strange-looking short queens. And you're good. Treat them like mystery, dude.
For the record, at the beginning of the episode, I said strange-looking tall women.
that's right.
I said that you can get into the club as a strange-looking tall woman
Got
more
it.
likely than being a beautiful short woman.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
Got it. Got it.
Lawrence hears what he wants to hear.
The duality
All right,
of the duality of queens.
The duality of nightlife.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so you have to treat people like normal people. And if you are able to do that, then you'll be successful no matter who you're approaching. But if you treat them like they are, special alien creatures just because of what they look like, then it's the same thing as going up to a celebrity and thirsting after them like I did with Kanye.
yeah. Right. What not to do.
So don't put your arm around a model. Go. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Unless you find yourself as portrayed as a crazy lunatic in page 6.
Exactly. And like there's nothing to be gained by like treating somebody differently just because of what they look like.
Sure. That's
You guys
great
know what
advice.
it's like. You guys are famous. When people come up,
I mean,
no.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
I know that you guys have people coming up to you and talking to you. And when somebody comes up to you and approaches you and is cool, you're going to have a good conversation with them. And if they come up to you and you know that they know exactly who you are and they're nervous, you're going to feel nervous.
Well, we also know what it's like. We know what it's like when to be on the other side of that, when to be treated differently based on how you look. When the male models were like, sorry, mates, like we got to keep the ratio.
The tribe has spoken. You're not allowed in.
On the flip side of this, Isaac, as a DJ, what in your estimation are the pros and cons of dating a professional disc jockey?
I would say
The oldest profession.
I like that. Okay, so
I like you.
No, I like you. The pros, I think, are the days off. The fact that if you're a successful DJ, you probably make a good
A
lot of scratch.
salary.
Yeah.
What if you're like fucking like Diplo or Afro
Oh my
Jack?
God,
or
yeah,
like,
Diplo. I mean, yeah, for sure. They're big pros.
so you have a residency at Hakkasan, then that's a pro.
Then you're good to go. And then also, like, if you're a person who likes to go out and has friends who like to go out, then you get the benefits of the door.
Sure. You're on the list automatically.
And like VIP, and you never have to pay for drinks and stuff like that. So those are the benefits. I would say the downside of dating a DJ is that you're dating somebody who works nights, who is going to be surrounded by young women on a daily basis. And that is not
temptation is around every corner.
Temptation, but like I think you have to be a secure person to be able to deal with that. But also like I could see why a woman who is looking to settle down and, move to the next phase of their life would look at somebody like me and be like, that is not a very attractive proposition.
How often do you have nights where you're like about to leave to go do a gig and you're like, I'm getting too old for this shit? Like
when I play nightlife, I often feel like I'm too old for this shit. Like in the moment when I'm doing it, it's usually fine. It's the mornings after when I wake up because like, I try to live in a routine, I wake up, I try to work out,
make a TikTok,
I
create content.
I do something for my mental health.
Make a TikTok, bitch.
I make a TikTok every morning, and so like, I'm going to do that regardless if I worked until 4 o'clock in the morning or not. And it fucking sucks when I work until 4 o'clock in the morning and I have to wake up and do those things. And you also really like, as you get older, you start to see it on your face.
Right. You wear it for sure.
Hence the masks, or the under eye mask was, in a weird way, having a year off of nightlife for all intents and purposes. I know you went to Miami. We're about to get into that, but like, was hitting pause on nightlife in a way a blessing for you?
Yeah.
And for the whole, like, do
but
other
also
people
before the pandemic, I wasn't really doing very much nightlife. Like I had reached a point in my career
like
where I
events.
was making so much money from events that like I would do a nightclub once every 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. You know?
These things feed into each other where like you get the corporate gigs because someone saw you at the club.
I think that like working Surf Lodge, I do as a strategic move. I don't get paid an enormous amount of money to do that.
But
like
new
every
nation
PR girl goes out there
and
then they book me for the fashion job.
or the new fucking emperor of the new Montenegro is like, yo, this guy fucking rules.
The warden of crypto land.
Yeah.
And, like for my own ego, like to play One Oak is a really big deal for me. Like Richie Akiva was a massive person for me when I was coming up. It's funnily enough, this is something that I wanted to mention when you said about like dating models. For me, I'm not intimidated talking to women. It's more guys that I've been like impressed by that I get scared around. So
like Kanyes of the world.
I get nervous around Richie Akiva, right? I get nervous around Josh Peskowitz and Eugene Tong.
The homies.
Because they were such heroes to me when I was when I was coming
just great
up.
Guys.
I mean, I was real nervous when I first met you as well. I didn't know who you were at the time.
Yeah, no.
I was like, who's this fucking guy?
I was on blogging.
But like if
Titan of Tumblr.
If I hadn't met you and I only listened to the podcast, I'd be nervous around you as well. Because like
you're not nervous for my TikToks?
yeah, for sure, your TikToks. But like people I have like professional, what's the word, esteem or whatever. Like people who I hold in high regard. I get nervous around those people for sure. So like to this day, I'm 37 years old. I've known Josh and Eugene for over 10 years of my life. I clam up and I don't know what to say when I see those guys.
Yeah.
You went to Miami on Memorial Day weekend and you never left. Is that right?
Thanksgiving.
What?
Are you fucking serious?
Thanksgiving, and I came back in May.
So how long? That's 6 months?
7 months, I think I was there.
What was the biggest culture shock moving down there?
The fact that COVID didn't exist.
Right, it's not real.
So COVID didn't exist, and then you have.
I mean, COVID's not real to begin with, but it was definitely fake down there
for sure. And so that was like.
Did you even? How many days of the week would you wear a mask? Would you say?
Oh, I would never wear a mask on the street. Never. And then I wore a mask when I was DJing for the first, I would say like 4 or 5 weeks, and then after that, I was like, why am I doing this? You don't have to do this. There's no need. So that was a big culture shock. I think just like the excessive consumption and like the extravagant displays of wealth in Miami is a huge culture shock. Like it's all about.
It's the Vegas of the East Coast.
Yeah, there's no. The
style. Culture is flexing. We've talked about this. Like that's the culture.
There's no style. There's like a designer sneakers and designer t-shirts.
Right.
And they all seem. Everybody seems rich, but like
but nobody's rich.
Nobody's rich, and also the people who are rich. They always seem to have gotten their money in extremely nefarious ways.
Was it kind of like was it just like influencers and TikTokers running around? Like, could you tell that it was just a fucking playground for like internet children?
It was a little bit, but do you know what? It's more like a playground for anybody who wants to feel like COVID doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the biggest culture shock. And then like as a person who's lived in New York, and I've lived in this apartment for like 9 years, I've lived like in this neighborhood. I'm very much a part of this neighborhood. I hang out in Tompkins Square every day. I go to the same cafe every day for years. And so I know people when I'm walking down the street. I have stop and chats with people, Like
the beauty of living in New York, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah. I went 6 months without running into a person I know. And that is a horrible feeling.
That's true. That's true. Right. I mean, that is the beauty. That's singularly unique
inside.
to
so
New York.
I felt really
in this
isolated
country.
and I got really lonely down there. And so like I arrived back in New York and in one day I ran into like 6 people I knew and I was like, thank God
we're back.
Was that move or transition purely financially motivated?
I got really, really scared at the end of last year. Like
you're like, I need a cash infusion.
I was doing my taxes and I like also to be like a white person who makes money off Instagram and stuff like that. Last year was not a good year for us,
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry 2020 was so hard for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Our sympathies.
Yeah, I felt fragile last year. No, and my friends, my friends who are POC influencers absolute
crushed it
last year. And more power.
We call that shit reparations.
Hell yes. So yeah,
and you know what?
Year, my jobs really dried up. I wasn't DJing and nobody was booking me.
No one gave a fuck about a poor little Kiwi.
Exactly.
A cis straight white male. Next.
You're like, let me go where both COVID and racism does not exist.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I was on unemployment. And then, when they cut off the good unemployment at a certain point last year, I started getting $140 a week from the New York State government.
Right. A welfare king.
I can't do this. Like I literally can't do this. And I'd spent like 80% of my like reserves.
Your savings.
Not quite like my savings, but like my reserves.
Right.
Rainy day fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was getting
scared.
Shit
was pouring out.
And so we went down to Miami and within with my girlfriend, with Miranda, and within a week of being there, she'd been offered a job and somebody had asked me to DJ and for like $400. And I was like, oh, okay, so I could do a couple of gigs every week. and I'm gonna start
Because you
getting
obviously
back on the
kept this place, so you're paying rent here. Where were you staying in Miami?
so we rented an apartment in Miami, but to get a beautiful 900 square foot apartment in South Beach with an elevator, walk-in wardrobe, full kitchen, $1,600.
Not bad.
Beautiful.
Which is surprising almost because of the influx of people that were there, seemingly semi-permanent as well.
Yeah,
so
it was amazing. And I was about to give up this
fucking-
apartment, and I came back to New York to give up the apartment. And the day that I was about to give notice, I had this random person text me and be like, hey, somebody told me that you are looking to sublet your apartment.
Wow.
And he fucking took it for 6 months.
Damn,
And
beautiful.
paid full rent, utilities, even paid for my
You would have. That would have been the biggest regret, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like
I was
looking
so
back, that would
happy
have been.
when I came back and I had my apartment. It was
Everything's coming up, Isaac.
Yeah.
I can't stop looking at the shirt. The shirt is fire.
Thank you.
And you have been doing this merch game much longer than we have. First of all, like how many days of the week are you wearing I Like You merch?
I'd say 3.
Okay. What's your best seller?
The socks are usually the best seller. And classic I Like You t-shirts with, like red on white.
Sure.
The classic I Like You t-shirt, the logo t-shirt always sells well. But I'm going to give you guys some, I'll give you guys some swag. But I have this new t-shirt that I just dropped a couple of weeks ago, which has an airbrushed print on it that says, if you think I'm cute, you should see my daddy. And
That's killing?
I love it when straight men wear that t-shirt.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
We got to give some to our groms.
Yeah,
To our sons.
yeah. Some gifts to our children. That's doing well.
Yeah, that's doing well. So yeah, that's been fun.
Do you have a dream collab? Like, what's a brand that you would fucking kill to collaborate with?
I mean, I would actually really love to do an I Like You Shangpri.
Oh yeah,
Shang
for
Pri,
sure.
if you're listening,
Yeah, Shang
cut
Pri.
that.
They have. You said there's a
fucking
red
check.
one too, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
like a. So it's. I mean, come on. So
Yeah.
right there.
It's right there. That's a
Yeah.
So
layup.
that's probably the dream collab. But like if Nike hit me up and said, let's do a sneaker, I would be very, very happy with that as well. But my favorite brand that I have worn the most over the last few years has probably been Brain Dead.
Yeah. Shout out Kyle.
But I don't have any relationship with those guys. Like I buy it constantly. I buy it all the time.
How much free shit do you get?
I get a lot of free shit, but like really, really, really good shit that I own, I usually buy.
Right. Well, I mean, that is the kind of the curse of Flow Team. If you're like a B level person, kind of like us, we know
You guys get good.
I mean, like, did I get free our leg?
That is good flow.
When we get free Legace, of course, that's
like you
know.
guys get like Stussy, you get Al Legacy, do you get Brain Dead?
Hashtag blessed. Kyle gave me a code where I could put it in the website and I could like get free. I could pick,
free Brain Dead.
Yeah, free brain I could pick for myself. But I had to pay for shipping. And then I complained about that.
So Lauren said no.
So then I complained about that because I'm an asshole. And then that was supposed to be fixed. And then the code expired. So now we're back to ground zero. But yeah. But the curse of Flow Team that I think a lot of people, again, if you're mid to
This is the
higher
most
mid-tier,
unrelatable rant.
but what people need
on
to know is
today's
that
podcast.
most of the shit that you get is bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Most
You know,
of the
it's
shit
not
that I
stuff
get-
that you want. I mean,
So
that's just,
I have a cleaner who I have used for 7 years living in this apartment.
And they get a lot of the flow.
Every Saturday she comes.
she's dripped out
And
head to
every
toe.
Saturday
And,
I
like,
give her a massive package of stuff.
I'm not going
Yeah.
to name the brand, but
Yeah.
they sent over a enormous box of flow.
well, now it's going to be
I
pretty
know who it
obvious. Well, maybe
you know
not.
what it was?
It was Kenneth Cole.
No, it wasn't. Hell, if Kenneth Cole was like, "You want free stuff," we'd be like, "No,"
Yeah.
because you need to learn how to.
massive boxes.
You
Left
got to
on
learn how
red.
to say
Left
no
on red.
too if you don't
Yeah.
want the stuff.
Yeah. But so there's a free store like like 2 blocks from me. Lawrence has seen it, and I'll like every weekend just bring like a few garbage bags of stuff over there
Yeah.
and leave it. And one time I just had this huge box, and this delivery guy on a bike was there just kind of perusing, and I was like, "Yo," I was like putting it up, and he's like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh, it's like t-shirts, hoodies, socks, crew necks, all the shit." And then I was like, do you want to look? And he's like, "Yeah, do you have any like size large?" And I was like, "Here you go." And then he's like, "Do you have any small for my mom?" And I was like, "Yeah, here you go."
Mm.
And then he basically just took, so this one delivery guy in Greenpoint is just fucking dripped out in this one brand head to toe,
Yeah.
which is not like a bad brand, but it was just too much.
Yeah.
And the benefit of that too is that that box had shit for everyone in the pod. So like chef, medium, that's your
Yep.
mom.
Boom.
Large, Chuck, whatever, right to body,
Love
easy
that.
money.
I think that a lot of people have maybe gotten to know you in the past year or so via Isaac Likes on TikTok. Isaac Likes _ on TikTok.
That's right.
Who has Isaac Likes?
Some guy has it on Instagram, and I've tried to buy it off him, and he doesn't even post.
Is
and he doesn't reply.
was he squatting like to, or it's just
he's like some
great
dude
minds think alike
he's some
situation?
dude. I think his name is Isaac Juan, and he lives in Mexico.
Okay.
What's been your most viral TikTok?
My two most viral TikToks that I've ever done. One was this is what your New York City nightclub says about you, and the other one was you know that trend that was like, woke up this morning thinking about so many things.
Yeah.
I wish things, so I did one of those. And my one was, remember that time that celebrities ended racism. And it was Aaron Paul and Sarah Paulson.
Right.
I
Yeah.
take responsibility or whatever it was.
That was a good one.
Said. Yeah.
Sure. Shout out to all the celebrities, man. We appreciate you.
So you do once a day, and like you're prolific. Do you ever get Zoomers though, like taking shots at you because like that's the whole fucking Gen Z
with your
millennial
beautiful gray mop.
I have people, do you know what I get? People say to me, wow, you look like an older version of Dave Portnoy.
What? Older than Dave Portnoy?
No.
That
man's
motherfucker's
50.
40 plus.
They're like, oh, you look like Dave Portnoy if he was older.
Oof. That's rough.
Yeah, that's harsh.
First of all, I don't even see that. First of all,
Yeah. Anyway, so that's one of the things I get. Do you know what? Like, yeah, I get.
Did you ever see him when you were DJing at the club in Miami?
No, I've never seen him.
Really?
Nah,
Fuck,
yeah.
what a bummer.
So I
He probably
get
goes to
Gen
fucking
Z people
whack
being
places.
like, aren't you too old to be a DJ? Aren't you too old to be commenting on things like that? Like, you shouldn't have an opinion on this because you're too old.
That's
And-
age ain't nothing but a
ageism.
number.
That's ageism.
And that
Yeah.
shit doesn't bother me. The thing that really actually bothers me, there are two things that bother me.
If anyone's listening, this is what you're going to get in the comments. So
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. Besides, you look like an older Dave Portnoy.
Yeah. I wish, if you,
I'm going to comment that on the fucking pic.
if you're throw gang and you comment that, I'll respect you for life. The things that actually do bother me that like one just pisses me off and the other one actually like hurts my feelings is I have a big chip on my shoulder against rich kids. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm not a rich kid. I don't come from money at all. My parents never made money. My parents never supported me.
there's only
financially.
one rich person in New Zealand. It's Kim.com.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's
Hell
right.
yeah. Shout out Kim.com. He's dead.
No.
Is he? Oh, maybe not.
No, I don't think so.
Jesus Christ. He's immortal.
If nobody knows, he was the founder of that
MegaUpload.com.
Yeah, Upload. Yeah, that's right. So,
OG pirate.
so when I moved to New York, also we haven't talked about like why I came here or how I, that I was a journalist for like a decade before I ever.
Boring.
became a DJ. Yeah,
It's old news. You're a DJ and a TikToker now.
I only wrote for
You're an
small-
older Dave Portnoy.
small rags like the New York Times and
Make a
GQ and
TikTok,
Esquire and
bitch.
Business
Yeah.
of Fashion, whatever. But anyway, so I really resented rich trust fund kids who could be interns in the city and their parents would pay their rent.
Sure.
And they would take away the jobs from like hardworking individuals.
Absolutely.
Like, I
This is a
saw myself.
problem everywhere,
Right.
but specifically in New York.
So I hate it when people say like, call me a trustafarian. But I also
Do they think that because you're
What's
like
that even based on? I would
because you're like out here clubbing and like
I also think that like I've created a lifestyle for myself that looks like I'm a wealthy person. And
But it's also-
so
and
you've been
also-
so
most
you've
people are-
succeeded then, right?
what these kids don't realize is that if you don't have kids,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you don't,
If you're not married.
if you are making like decent money and you can spend the money on yourself. And
I also think that most like 18-year-olds or like whatever the biggest demographic is on TikTok don't have a concept of what a 37-year-old looks like. And they definitely wouldn't think that I am a 37-year-old because they think of 37-year-olds as like
What
their
Lawrence
parents'
looks like.
Right,
friends.
literally their parents. Yes.
Yeah, right. So like they think that's like an adult, and then they look at me and I'm like in nightclubs and shit like that,
Sure.
or doing like talking about the things that I'm talking about. So maybe they don't think of
these
me as the
18-year-olds
same
when
thing.
they have a lot to learn when they become Peter Pans themselves.
Exactly. Okay, so the other thing that really bothers me is when I get called a gentrifier, which I understand I probably am a gentrifier.
Sure.
But like I've lived in this neighborhood for a long
Welcome to the club.
time, and like that bothers me. I don't like that.
Where do they get that from? Just that you live in the East Village?
Like you're a white piece of shit who moved to New York, and you're the reason you're the reason that New York
What a good
sucks.
title. You're a white piece of shit. You moved to New York.
You're the reason the New York sucks. You're the reason that we get priced out of our neighborhood.
Jeez.
It's because of people like you that like.
Where are these comments happening on TikTok?
Yeah, on TikTok.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, but and I
mean-
never argue with people in the comments, but
No.
what I wish people knew is that like I am very much a member of my fucking community here in this neighborhood.
yeah, and I
But
think
whatever, like,
Right.
I can't really complain that much.
Right.
I mean the worst gentrifiers are those that don't even like contribute anything
Sure.
creatively to the city or to like the tapestry of like whatever the fuck, which is like the finance dudes that move here and just like
the real
guy-
war profit.
the guys that are out at Surf Lodge right now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck those.
Literally
guys.
everyone you're
Fuck
playing.
anybody who works in finance. Fuck you.
Yeah,
If you
literally
work in
the
finance.
entire crowd at Surf Lodge. That's the problem.
Do you like some of your TikToks are like, yo, if you eat a Lucian, then you are this fucking whatever the fuck. If you do go to this club, then you're whatever the fuck. Like, who has there been anyone that you've actually like pissed off, like legitimately pissed off? Not as like,
because you read them so
not because they
perfectly?
think you're a Trustafarian, but they're like, fuck you, Isaac. Like,
yeah, but do you know what? Like, I think that one thing that I have learned to do on TikTok is punch up. Okay,
Interesting.
I punch at the wealthy, I punch at the beautiful, I punch at the extremely cool. You know, and so like
us, for example,
exactly,
beautiful,
like
rich, cool.
That's it. And and I think that they appreciate somebody seeing them for who they are. And making light of that situation, right? And so like I run into problems when I am maybe not feeling so mentally well and I'm feeling a lot of pressure to make a joke. I actually texted James one time and I was like, hey,
I was like, walk it back.
Yeah.
Well, what was the joke? We gotta say what it was.
I don't think I should say what it was because it was like,
bad. It was bad.
It wasn't bad. I was just like, yo, this could play out in a number of different ways, and some of those.
Tell me off mic.
I'll tell you off mic. So like, there have been times when I have felt.
I was taking a shit when you texted me that. By the way,
yeah, I was as well.
I had time.
I was as well.
That's beautiful, dude.
No, yeah,
two shits passing in the night.
That's amazing. Yeah, so like I'll feel pressure to make a joke. And then I will start, I'll do something, or I'll be feeling like I need validation and attention. And whenever I'm doing that, I will tend to be snarkier. And when I get snarky, I get myself into trouble.
The snark does show
because you're forcing it. I feel that way if I feel like I'm forcing a fit pick, it never does as well because it's like it's not natural or whatever.
Exactly. Right. And so I text it
like your last one.
And one thing that I've always
banged, baby.
One thing I've always thought about you guys is that you toe the line without going over the line. And the thing that James said to me was like,
really?
The joke doesn't. He was like, I get the joke, and I just think like, maybe you're not the person who needs to make the joke.
Ooh, but I would say that we're habitual line steppers. I do feel like that.
I think I would say like, yo, the payoff is not worth the potential.
There it is.
Exactly what he said.
There he is.
And I was really glad. And I think sobriety has taught me that sometimes you need to check with other people before you go out and put yourself out there. And
the key to life,
before you let it fucking fly.
Yeah.
The key to life with social media, only post pee pee poo poo jokes.
Yeah, that's right.
Pee pee poo
The
poo.
PP that makes us go tee hee.
Yeah. How could we, and when I say we, I mean how could Throwing Fits step up its TikTok game?
I think that you need to show more expression in your face.
I was say show more skin.
Okay.
Like his acting.
Yeah, you're always so serious. You're not a serious guy.
Well, he's also not a good actor.
No, it's not. But it's not about acting. Like, also, you never talk on TikTok.
I don't.
And you've got both of you have got such
it's what we literally do for a living, James.
Voices, and incredibly distinctive voices, and that works for you guys. So use your motherfucking voice.
The one TikTok where I spoke was when it was my face on the Rick Owens model with his dick sticking out, and it was like, you need to leave.
And it didn't do as well, and then you were second guessing?
It's our biggest reel on Instagram.
Hell yeah.
Because there's like a penis.
That happens sometimes. Yeah, I've had things that like have
we do show
on Instagram and do really well on TikTok and things, and
vice versa.
But yeah, like you need to talk on TikTok. You need to be on TikTok. You guys,
he doesn't know how to do it.
The best thing,
I literally don't.
The best thing about TikTok is that you get immediate feedback on whatever you're doing. So, for instance, I have a lot of plants in my apartment. I did a TikTok where I talked about plants, and people were like, "Wait, how did you say that word?" And so, guess what I did? The next 15 videos I did, I said plant.
Yeah,
and and so like whenever I'm given feedback, I always lean into that. Like people started commenting on the under eye mask.
And now they're
boom, I wear them in every single video.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And in case you're wondering, the reason I say nobody asked at the beginning of every TikTok is because nothing fucking annoys me more than when wannabe influencers say, a lot of you have been asking me.
Right, which is caparoni, dude. Come on.
It's either that or, hey guys.
Drinking cappuccinos.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Exactly. You're like an older Dave Portnoy.
I know. So yeah, like literally nobody asked, but I'm going to give you this.
Right. Sure.
Hey guys, this is Dave Portnoy. A lot of you have been asking me how old I am.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the fucking potentially $1 million question, Isaac, which we previewed earlier.
Yeah. Little
in the pod.
tease for the boys and girls.
What does Isaac Hindin-Miller, the Champagne of DJs, charge to DJ a party, event, whatever the fuck?
So my typical rate for a nightclub is like $100 an hour.
And how many hours are we talking?
Yeah.
6?
Well, I mean, you try to stack as many hours as you can.
When do you normally go on? Are you like a 10 p.m. guy? Or are you a midnight guy? Or does that depend on the...
I like 12 till 2.
12 till 2.
12 till 2 is like when the party is like
That's your
banging,
ideal, like.
and 2 to 4 is for like the cocaine.
That's like the zombie, like the K-hole kids.
Yeah,
and then
it gets boring.
So 200, but $200.
Oh yeah, but like this is what I'm saying. Like a lot of the time when you're doing a nightclub, like I don't even invoice that shit because
Right.
it's not like
It's
like,
marketing.
That's
It's
like
marketing.
the richest thing I'll ever say in my entire life. But, like, it is
That's
a marketing. It's a
Yeah.
marketing thing. It's not.
Do you
trying to
get-
put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Because you don't, well, maybe you get drink tickets for friends and shit, but if you like deny drink tickets, do they like make it up for you in cash?
Oh yeah, like last night, for instance, we didn't even take money. We just put money on the bar to
Right, which is great.
to like let our friends
Respect.
drink for free. Because it's like at the end of the day, yeah, we were gonna get like $150 each or something. Like, would
Yeah.
we rather get $150 or would we rather, like
Have a
give-
great
yeah.
time.
And like
For everyone
we
else.
have both Amrit and I have both reached levels in our career where like we don't necessarily need $150
Sure,
right now,
of course,
you know?
right. yeah.
Which is a great place.
This is
to
why
be.
I'm not going to reply on email to.
exactly.
Damn, bummer, because you
Exactly.
just gave him a free plug, you fucking
Yeah.
moron. Bleep. Let's get a bleep in
And there is
here,
nothing
dude.
quite
Jeff,
like
bleep
the
at
feeling of a
127.41.
nicely shorn scrotum.
Exactly.
To quote Dr. Evil.
I mean, I would if my balls were shaved right now, this AC would feel so nice, blowing up the leg hole right here.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Okay, so
Yeah,
$100 a nightclub.
But for events and stuff like that, I'd prefer not to say the actual amount. But
What's the
like,
range
But you get like in the thousands for sure.
per hour?
Yeah.
Holy shit! What's the biggest payday you've ever had in your life?
Okay, so in 2015, when I was just starting out as an event DJ, Calvin Klein called me up, the company, not the man.
Yeah.
And said, "Hey, would like you to DJ these 2 parties. One was at Macy's and one was at Lord and Taylor when
Okay.
RIP.
You dead bitch.
And they were like, do you think you can do it for? We've only got like $8,000 a gig
You're like, let me check with my agent.
for 2 hours DJing." And so in 4 hours, I made $16,000, and I was like,
Hell yes.
Yeah, and you've got to remember that in 2015, I had been writing for all of these publications where it would take you like days to write
Yeah.
a story. You'd have to interview 20 sources, and you get paid $100.
90 days
90.
later.
Exactly. And so like I was like, holy shit, I have arrived. This is how much money I make now. And it took me a long time to start making that money again. But McDonald's paid like upwards of those rates as well. But so like when you're doing well and like weddings and stuff like that, you can make 10K for a wedding,
Right,
15K for a wedding, like
God damn.
when it's not your friend.
yeah, when it's not your friend. And then sometimes you will, get booked by a company and it'll be a company that is so fucking cool that you're like, I'll take a lower amount of money, but
Just
like,
to
you'll
have my
give me
name
an
on the flyer.
outfit
Yeah.
And like this, it
Right.
looks very good for me to be doing this job.
How much?
That would be like the Dior's and Valentinos
yeah,
of the
but
world.
a lot of those clients actually pay really well at the same time.
Because you have a relationship already established.
You're talking about like throwing fits. where it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you'd
I
be
would
like,
DJ for you guys for free anytime you like.
Hell yeah.
would you-
Anytime you
would
like.
Hold on, we're not at constructive criticism yet where
Yes.
we beg for shit.
Okay.
How much money do you make per annum?
I after I got sober, I started making 6 figures.
Well, yeah,
Because you weren't spending money on drogas.
your expenses went
In
down.
my last,
Yeah.
and I will say that in my last year drinking, I believe that I like when I did my taxes, I saw that I spent $22,000 in bars. in my last year
Wow.
drinking.
You actually kept track? Damn.
Yeah, so, like-
let's not do
you
that.
do great accounting work, dude.
So like I finally but I was over 30 before I started making 6 figures. As a writer, I think the highest amount of money that I ever made was like 50.
Right.
So once I stopped writing and I got into like the
Put down the
work
pen and picked up the
Yeah.
CDJs.
Exactly,
Kids,
like,
kids, don't
things
get
started-
into
Yeah,
media.
honestly, like when people are like, "Oh, I want some advice for getting into media," it's like, don't do it. Like,
Yeah.
what, are you kidding me?
Unless you're on the sales side or the
So
business
yeah,
side.
like I guess, but yeah, okay. So anyway, I know what your next question is.
How much money would you like to make?
Yeah, I would like
7 figures?
I would like to make 250 a year.
Yeah, that's
I've never broken 200 or anything.
That'd be a
like
good cruising
that
altitude for
before.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I would like to make 250. But I'm also aware of the fact that the amount of work that I would need to do at the rates that I'm making to make $250,000 would be an enormous.
Would it be
amount of
worth
work.
it? You'd
And
probably
I
be
don't know-
miserable, right?
I don't know that it would be worth it because I've got a couple of friends who are very successful influencers. For instance, I've got a German friend, Xenia Adons on Instagram. She's got like 1.7 million followers, right? And they make enormous amounts of money, like 7 figures, right? And the amount of work that they have to do to make that money is not what I would want to do with my life.
This, this influencer shit ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
And
it's because people want to like besmirch and disparage those people because like
you don't want that life. Nobody wants that fucking life.
But it is.
I don't fucking want to live that life.
Right.
Like, even if they get paid $15,000, $25,000 per Instagram post,
it's a lot,
the amount of posts you have to do to earn 7 figures is a lot.
It's not sexy to have sympathy for someone who is clearly like living the dream, quote unquote, and is privileged, quote unquote, but that shit is not easy.
And I've gone on those beautiful trips with some of those people, and they are not on holiday. They are working.
You can't enjoy it. It's like a press trip, bro. You can't fuck. I mean,
there's nothing
it is cool to not pay for any hotels and accommodations and meals, but because you take that deal, you can't have the fun that you want to have.
Yeah. And
right?
so
That's
I would say that like I get to live a really good lifestyle, making the amount of money that I make.
You're cruising.
And working the amount that I work. If I'm doing like 2 events a week, maybe I get a sponsored Instagram or TikTok post or something like that. Like I'm doing well for myself. And
the other thing is you don't have to split it 50-50 with your fucking goon over here.
That is absolutely fucking true.
That's true.
It's all you, baby.
Well, if you're not spending $22,000 at bars and 5x that on cocaine, what do you like to spend your money on?
So I was spending a lot of money on Ubers. And fuck Uber, I will never.
You had a semi-viral TikTok, and I've seen people stitching it.
Yeah,
which is now that they've gotten rid of now they've done subsidizing rides like.
So
prices
you go anywhere in New York, you take the Uber versus the subway.
And you know what?
Slower.
I know, it's stupid. It's stupid. And you said it the other day. You're like, it is better to take the subway. You always take the subway. I respect that. But I mean, I live on Avenue D.
City bikes.
I live on the block in Manhattan that is furthest away from a subway station.
When we both walked here from the L.
The New York Times did a study, and I live on the block.
What about the F on 2nd Avenue? I guess that's pretty far.
1.3 miles.
God damn, bro, city bike.
He's done the research.
So I city bike, but I also bought a moped.
Oh, right.
So,
yeah. You have that here?
Yeah. I bought it in Miami and I brought it up. So like,
he drove it back.
When I did my taxes, my 2019 taxes, I saw that I'd been spending $800 a month on
That
Uber.
is insane, dog. That's people's rent.
But it's like 4 a.m. when you're coming out of the club. And
that's different.
Home. Like, that's
different. It was more events. You know, I'm the sort of person who would like go to the opening of a toilet seat. And so like, I was going from like uptown, downtown, across town, you know, and I would never take the subway like a moron. And, but like, as I had gotten older and I'd started making more money, I made a decision that I was like, I have afforded myself the ability to take Ubers.
But also,
I took it too far.
You know what you should do, Isaac, is throw some fat boy in this fucking glorious mane you got going, hop on a city bike, let the wind blow your hair back.
Bike. I've got a city bike on my block.
Perfect. Just don't accidentally drunkenly.
Would a client ever pay for the car or car service?
Yeah.
So then, I mean, it's
for sure.
If anything, if you want to be driven versus taking the subway, just get someone else to pay for it. Obviously, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I also buy a lot of clothing.
Yeah. Wrangler.com.
Yeah.
We'll shout them out. No bleeps there. Shout out
besides
Wrangler.
the Legace Camions, what's the recent large purchase?
Should we play a little Last John, Next John? I guess this is the Last John, right? These were the most.
What was the last John?
Damn, these are so nice, dude. I honestly, I'm addicted now. I need a brown pair. Like these are so fucking sexy. I love them.
What have I been buying? Fuck. Oh, I bought this rug. Was the last big thing that I bought. Actually,
it's beautiful.
I got shipped here.
It
from
really
Morocco.
ties the room together.
What's the store called? I have it open after you posted it.
Harem Modern.
Yeah. Ooh, harem. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So I this was the last thing that I bought apart from the boots. But like, yeah, I'm constantly buying clothing. I buy a lot of printed shirts, but I've also been like flow teamed some really good shit.
Can we
recently.
talk about like the cam collar vibe? So like obviously I'm wearing one right now. You just did this collab with Tom Bolo. Are you seeing like? Do you think it's getting like rinsed by like average basic bros that like when you go to Surf Lodge, how many cam collar pattern shirts are you seeing on the dance floor?
You see a lot of Tom Bolo shirts at Surf Lodge.
Interesting.
So I don't know why, but Tom Bolo is a brand.
Dave Portnoy wears Tom Bolo.
I respect that brand.
There it is.
And I think that their brand message is really clever. They want you to have nostalgia for something that you've never seen before.
Ooh, wow, dude.
That never existed.
Give that intern a raise. Jesus Christ.
So those guys are clever, but it has been adopted by the finance bro. There's no doubt about it.
By the Chugi and the Damned.
By the Chugi and the Damned. But there's something about a cam collar shirt that I think is very flattering on a man. So I don't like. For me, it's
and
like
you do the
rinsed.
beater look too, which is like a new thing that I'm trying
That's
to.
hard. I'm trying to embrace like being sexy in my old age.
Sure.
You know,
Hot boy summer.
Being a thought
Yeah.
boy summer.
You're like an older Dave Portnoy, but you're sexy.
But I'll
dude.
tell you the best for my money, the best camp collar shirts on the market are Supreme.
Oh, always the rayon, all Mamma
good.
Mia,
So
the best, the OG, the finest to ever do it.
I didn't
World
get the
famous
Penguin.
since
Did you get the
1994.
Penguin?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I really wish I got the Penguin.
See, I don't know if I can get him over with the Supreme, but I am going to get on board, Isaac, with offering you up
Yeah,
Oh,
let's do it.
some fucking beautiful, unimpeachable constructive
By the way, can I
criticism.
drink? I drank all your beers. Is that
but
okay?
good because
Okay.
I don't want them in my fridge.
Fantastic. Thank you,
Do
bro.
you have any more he can have?
No, I had.
I've got some brain dead energy drink in there.
Oh, I
though.
saw those. It's
We
very
should- maybe
cool.
we should crack them out.
No, I just listen. If it's an alcoholic beverage in the fridge, I will drink it.
yeah,
And
good.
I
I'm
have.
glad that you did.
You're welcome. Thank me for my service.
Yeah, thank you.
This may, yeah,
At least
exactly.
I could do.
All right, Isaac. Obviously, you're doing fucking fantastic. We're glad that you're back in New York. We can't wait to hang out all summer long. That being said, my friend, and here this is hand on knee,
Thank you.
Hand on Wrangler.
hand on Wrangler, hand on Rang.
You're like a girl behind the booth, dude. Get your hands off this man's hog.
We want you to do even fucking better.
Of course.
God, I wish I would. Please do. Please tell me.
And so we're going to lay some constructive criticism on you. Take it or leave it. We highly suggest you take it.
I'm taking it.
Those that have flourished. Those that haven't are all dead. First up, you run with a very beautiful crowd. I think I'm a very beautiful man. If I have a very stoned face on TikTok, set me up on some dates with your beautiful friends.
I have invited you out a lot of times recently.
That's not what I'm saying, though. What I'm saying is set me up on some dates with your beautiful
Okay,
friends.
so
Because
Phil-
I'm back into dating. I don't
Can
want to
we-
go out and like trawl the bars.
Really?
Yes.
We should talk. This is a new development.
Okay, but can we just pause on the constructive criticism? I thought there was an interesting moment in yesterday's podcast. What's in it, Annie?
Last
Yeah,
week.
this-
Last
this-
week.
last
Oh,
week's.
sorry, I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
listened to it
No, it's
yesterday.
fine.
My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You
there
late,
was an-
homie.
There was an interesting moment in that podcast where she said that dates intimidate her. You need to hang out with people in social settings, and then if it
Ooh.
becomes romantic, fantastic. So
Then
when
go on a
I
date.
invite you to come hang out with my friends, and you come and hang out with them, and everybody's vibing and drinking coffees together at 3:00 in the afternoon, and then maybe they decide to go for dinner and then go out that night. Then you're not just like randomly going out and trying to talk to people.
That's
in
like
bars.
3 dates in one kind of
Exactly,
successive.
okay? So come hang out
situation.
and then we'll see if it turns romantic. But I don't believe in setting people up on dates because it's awkward. Not
Or like a
everybody wants-
like a blind date where it's like you're thrown
Well,
right
no,
into
there's no
dinner.
dates.
There's no such thing as a blind date these days.
Well,
I don't
right,
believe
not
in
with
dates
socials,
because, like going out and like eating dinner opposite somebody you've never met before. That's awkward as fuck to me.
But I'm a
Yeah.
professional interviewer. I
Yes,
make it
you
not
are. So
awkward.
come hang out with people.
But and just because
it's
you're a
not just
pro
success.
doesn't mean that's still not the Thunderdome that people are being dropped into.
And
And
I
that's a
think
great
that
point.
if you hadn't been making it like a date with this girl, it would have been easier to hang out
well,
with
we
this
had
girl.
content to create.
So my
Isaac.
thing
I
is-
mean,
Oh
come
no,
on.
but the podcast was brilliant. I'm so glad you did the podcast.
So I guess my thing is like I think that I'm almost like kind of as a contrarian going against the horny summer of all time, where everyone's just like making out with 6 people in one night or whatever the fuck, and it's like, yo, let's go, let's make our intentions clear, and like let's let this be a date, not a fucking hang that hopefully turns into some fucking
Well, that's honesty and
wham,
transparency.
bam.
We've talked about that. That's also good. Like you're saying, this guy.
So
the
maybe
male
it's,
model
maybe-
who's
may-
making out with mad
but
girls. He
it-
was clear with his intentions.
It can feel to me, just my perspective, my constructive criticism to you
Mhm.
is it can feel a little bit full on, maybe.
Mm.
And maybe people are not looking to like settle down immediately and stuff. And so they're just like, yo, let's just like kick it and see what happens.
Casual.
So maybe it's not one or the other. It's, really
more
got
the
to be
wording for me. It's the wording of it that like
The D
makes it-
word.
yeah, it's the D word.
And
All right.
it's just about setting the expectations up front. Honesty, transparency. It's the only policy.
set us up with some social situations that are
Anytime. You guys
involve
are always
all your
I
beautiful
love you
friends.
guys. I love having you around.
We can be the weird short looking kings that fucking or the strange looking short kings.
you guys are not short.
Well, we like
Not
you
when we're
too,
wearing the
Isaac.
camion boots.
All right, here's a piece of constructive. And that's another. By the way, can I just say that's why I love those shits. Obviously, I'm fucking 6'2" in those joints. Come on.
Okay, so
All right, here's another piece of constructive criticism that is thirsty in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac, can you contribute a brand new mix / playlist to our Patreon only Chef Jam series this Thursday as a side mission so James and I can continue our extremely lax responsibility shirked summer vacation?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it,
Fuck
dude.
yes.
This is what you do. You are a fucking DJ. You are a music man.
A DJ.
We just did this amazing fucking almost probably now, 2 hours of
Hour and a half.
storytelling,
Hour 40.
of fucking friendship. Let's put the fucking tunes where they deserve in the motherfuckers' ears. Let's do
In
a
the
little
ears of the
dance.
throw game.
Cool.
Do it. Go
Just
crazy.
so you know, I don't like trap music, and I will not be putting any trap music on.
It's
Whatever you
your
want.
prerogative. You're
It's
the
your
fucking
vibe.
guy.
It's your vibe. It's your playlist.
But it would be cool as to kind of put like a beautiful bow next Thursday. This will be on Tuesday. Drop just a playlist for obviously for our best friends behind the paywall only.
And as you guys know that I'm a patron, right?
Yeah.
So then
good.
for your fellow brethren.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's your vibe for your
Whatever you want, as long as you want.
for your fellow best friends. It's your vibe. It's your playlist. It's our work that you're doing.
You could mix it. You could mix it. It could just be a playlist, but we'll follow up the balls in your court.
Done.
I think that would be.
Let's do
I
it.
think that everybody.
It's gonna be
wins.
it's gonna be a Spotify playlist. Just you know, it would be a
absolutely.
Spotify
For
playlist.
sure.
But let's do it.
We have the tech to make it an Apple playlist.
Yeah,
so
we have
don't
the
worry.
technology.
We have the technology.
Yeah, and the
Isaac,
steady hand.
You've made it to the end of the only podcast
Yeah.
that matters. I hope you had a good time.
I did.
Where can the kids follow you on all socials?
Yeah, let's
I'm
go.
on Instagram and I am on TikTok. Isaac likes ISAACLIKES_
Twitter.
I'm not that. I thought that was going to be in the constructive criticism. Get on Twitter. I'm not.
Do
on
you
Twitter.
Are you parked on Twitter at all?
Yeah, parked, but I don't have it. I don't use it.
Damn,
I think
so when we do
you're
promo,
only
we're
the
going to be just adding a dead account with
Yeah, so you don't-
500 followers.
Yeah.
You're the
Right,
second
real
guest-
good for the
6,000,
brand.
maybe 6,000.
Oh, come
I
on.
don't
Nothing to
use it.
shake a stick at.
I don't use it.
Whatever.
You're the second guest ever to I think plug their TikTok after Nicole McLaughlin.
Yeah. Oh, who I followed and she followed me back.
Oh,
Fire.
sick. Shout out Nicole, the
Yeah.
homie.
Great episode.
What do you want to plug?
Yeah,
Like any
plug
events, anything
plug
coming up?
Tombolo.
Yeah, but so I've got the collab shit with Tom Bolo
It's sick,
dropping
dude.
next week.
No. This week.
Yeah, this week.
Oh, this week. Yes, this week. And also,
Where can you cop?
follow I Like You on Instagram. ILIKEYOU. I have literally the I Like You account.
Sick.
Where can we get the shirt though? Like where do we cop?
It'll be
Tombolo.com.
on tombolo.com.
Okay. All right.
Fire.
Isaac, thank you for coming on to the Only Podcast
Yeah, we
Matters.
appreciate
it. It has been
this
a
has been
great
10
time.
years in the making.
Honestly,
Is it everything you could have ever hoped
it
and
was
dreamed for?
it was so good for me. And I was like,
What was your favorite part? What was your favorite part?
the intro was great, but just like, do you know what was
First
good?
thing?
Just like us getting excited and raising our voices and like shouting at each other in
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
living room felt so good.
Loud noises.
We're already talking at 5x
And the
speed.
fact that we're all wearing the goddamn under eye masks.
Oh, I can't wait.
Good.
Also, I can't wait to be fucking in your TikTok and to show Lawrence the power
Yeah.
of the talk. Isaac,
Power of the algorithm.
thank you for coming on to the
Thanks,
Only
bud.
Podcast
It's always
Matters.
I like you.
Woo. I like you too. Chef, slap that motherfucking Rick Ross. We get a Rick Ross run?
Martin music.
Vibing to the music. This is how we do it. All night. Breezing down the freeway. Just me and my baby. In our ride. Just me and my boss. No worries at all. Listening to the
Would've came back for you. I just needed time to do what I had to do. Caught in the life, I can't let it go. Whether that's right, I won't ever know. But here
When I'm
goes
alone in my
nothing.
room, sometimes I stare at the wall. Automatic weapons on the floor, but who can you call? My down bitch, one who live by the code. Put this music shit aside, get it in on the road. Lot of quiet time, pink bottles of rose, exotic red bottoms, soul body glittered in gold. Following fundamentals, I'm following in a rental. I love a nasty girl who swallow what's on the menu. That money triple up when you get it out of state. Need a new safe cause I'm running out of space. El Ray Jetson, I'm somewhere out of space. In my two-seater, she the one that I would take. We
Vibing to